Flash marriage marrying a disabled husband, a hidden rich man. 4 years ago, Saishir was framed by her fiancé and gave birth to a stillborn baby whose father was unknown. 4 years later, she was betrayed by a scumbag and married a disabled husband with a little burden. Saishir said that the expenses after marriage, and the non-interference in life were not a big problem. Just when everyone was laughing at her, she made a strange discovery. Whenever someone made trouble for her, the end would always be miserable. Whenever she encountered difficulties, she could always solve them. Saishir also thought that after she left the scumbag, she was possessed by a koi. Until one day, she found that there were hundreds of millions of assets inexplicably under her name, and then she realized that her disabled husband was actually a billionaire. 001 Betrayal. Saishir, are you really that dense or just playing dumb? I said Jinghao proposed to me today. He never loved you. Just let him go. Standing at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, Saishir stared coldly at the intimately linked couple in front of her. One was her boyfriend Lin Jinghao. The other, his ex-girlfriend Su Yunxi. Today was supposed to be the day she and Lin Jinghao registered their marriage. But what greeted her was this cruel scene. Suppressing her humiliation, she sneered, Lin Jinghao, is this your idea of cheating? Lin Jinghao frowned, about to speak, but Su Yunxi cut in first. Cheating? Are you kidding me? Jinghao and I never broke up. You, my so-called best friend, seduced my boyfriend while I was studying abroad, and now you dare to accuse him of cheating. Saishir clenched her fists, her whole body trembling as she tried to hold it together. She looked up at the man across from her. Lin Jinghao, what do you really mean by all this? His eyes flickered. Then, without hesitation, he pulled out a check. Take this. Let us part on good terms. Saishir glanced at the amount and laughed coldly. So I'm worth only 200,000. Su Yunxi chimed in immediately, did you hear that, Jinghao? She thinks it's too little. This is the woman you called kind and reasonable? Turns out she's just greedy. Lin Jinghao frowned. Then name your price. Name her price? Saishir raised one finger. 1 million. He guessed. A bit steep, but worth it if he could get rid of this burden. Just as he was about to sign another check, Saishir's voice turned icy. 10 million. Su Yunxi's face turned green. 10 million? Saishir, have you lost your mind? Back when Lin Jinghao had nothing, I dropped out of school and worked to support him through college. Not only that, I took care of him and his mother. Now he's worth over 1 billion, and I'm only asking for 10 million. Is that too much? Lin Jinghao's face darkened. Saishir, I'm trying to be civil here. Civil? Or is it that you just can't bear to let go? Your company is going public soon, isn't it? I bet the media would love to hear the juicy gossip about Peking's rising business star. Let us see who really ends up ruined. Saishir had no interest in wasting any more breath on this shameless pair. She turned to leave. But Su Yunxi rushed forward and grabbed her arm. You think a woman who had a bastard child deserves 10 million? Look at yourself. Who do you think you are? Saishir's expression turned cold. What did you just say? I said you're a filthy, promiscuous tramp. Got it? Lin Jinghao's expression changed. He immediately pulled Su Yunxi back. Shut up. She's blackmailing us for 10 million. How can I shut up? Su Yunxi was livid and not backing down. She shook off Lin Jinghao's hand and yelled at Saishir, you got knocked up by some random guy and pinned it on Jinghao. He has been carrying the blame for 3 years. Instead of being grateful, you try to extort money. Keep it up, and I'll have you thrown in jail. Saishir trembled with rage. Lin Jinghao, what the hell is she talking about? That child, it was yours. 3 years ago, the night Lin Jinghao secured a 5 million investment, she had a few drinks out of joy and blacked out. When she woke up and saw Lin Jinghao beside her, she thought they had spent the night together. A month later, she found out she was pregnant. It was Lin Jinghao who insisted she keep the baby, so she gave up her scholarship to study abroad and stayed to prepare for motherhood. But due to complications, the baby was stillborn. Lin Jinghao, worried the truth would break her, had the baby quietly taken away. She had carried that child for 10 months and never got to see its face. The pain of that memory tore through her again. But now what did Su Yunxi's words mean? Seeing the color drain from Saishir's face, Su Yunxi pressed on, ever wonder why Jinghao never touched you for the past 3 years? Because he thinks you're filthy. Every time he needed something, he flew out to see me. That's enough. Lin Jinghao finally snapped, silencing Su Yunxi. Sai Xie was on the verge of collapse. Lin Jinghao, if you weren't the man that night 3 years ago, then who was? His gaze flickered, voice turning impatient. How would I know? You were the one messing around, not me. Then why did you insist I keep the baby? What did you do with my child? I told you the baby was stillborn. The hospital took care of it that day. With that, he threw the check for 200,000 at her. Take it. We're even. I know you're not afraid of making a scene, but don't forget you still have that drunk of a father lying in a hospital bed. Don't push me. You. Sai Xie felt like she'd been struck by lightning. Her legs nearly gave out. Lin Jinghao knew her too well, knew exactly how to hit where it hurt. Seeing she said nothing more, he turned to leave. Su Yunxi sneered as she passed. Trash. You got what you deserved. Once inside the car, Su Yunxi leaned intimately into Lin Jinghao's arms. But he grabbed her jaw roughly. Didn't I warn you not to bring up that child? Do you have any idea how close you just came to screwing everything up? It was the first time Su Yunxi had seen him so angry. Her heart skipped a beat. Jinghao, I'm sorry. I just got so angry seeing her act so shamelessly. I lost control. I swear, it won't happen again. It better not. He stepped on the gas and sped off. As the black Mercedes disappeared in the distance, Sai Xie felt like her heart had been ripped out of her chest. She couldn't breathe. She glanced at the check in her hand and tore it to shreds without hesitation. Ring ring, ring ring. Her phone rang. She looked down. It was her father calling. Wiping her tear-filled eyes, she answered, Dad? Her father's gentle voice came through the receiver. Xie, did you get the marriage certificate? Congratulations, sweetheart. You finally have a home. I can rest easy now. Years of alcoholism had left her father with heart failure and fluid buildup in his chest. During surgery a few days ago, the hospital had issued 2 critical condition notices. Sai Xie didn't dare say too much, afraid he'd hear something in her voice. Dad, there's still a bit of paperwork to handle. All right. Getting married is a big deal. I won't hold you up. After the call ended, Sai Xie looked once more at the Civil Affairs Bureau entrance before turning to leave. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out behind her. Master Ju, Miss Qin is already an hour late. I just called her 3 times and she didn't answer. 002, flash marriage with a disabled boss. As soon as Special Assistant Lu Ran finished speaking, the air around him froze in an instant. Even though the car window was only open a crack, he could still feel the cold air rushing out. He endured the low pressure and said with a stiff upper lip, Do you still want to get this certificate? After a strange silence, a cold and ruthless voice came from inside the car window, Go back. Yes. Lu Ran responded. This Miss Qin is so ignorant. You know, our Master Ju is a man who can make Pei Cheng tremble with just one stomp of his feet. In terms of family background, wealth, means, brains, appearance and talent, if he says he is second, no one dares to claim to be first. If it weren't for his legs, how could it be Miss Qin's turn? Lu Ran was about to get in the car when suddenly, a pleasant and clear voice came from behind him, Excuse me, are you short of someone to get the certificate? When Lu Ran turned around, he saw a young woman with a slim figure, delicate face, beautiful and cold features looking at him. Who are you? Sai Xie didn't know what had happened to him. Sorry, I just overheard that you guys seem to have been stood up. My boyfriend also cheated on me today. If you don't mind, how about we get the marriage certificate? Just get the certificate. When Lu Ran heard this, he almost choked on his saliva. This girl looks pretty and doesn't seem to have any mental problems. How could she say such shocking words? Does she know who the man in the car is? How dare you say you're just going to get the certificate? He was about to chase the person away when he found that the rear window was rolled down. A handsome profile appeared before my eyes. This man is so handsome. Sai Xie was stunned for a moment, as if struck by his handsome face. At this moment, she had only one question in her mind: what woman could refuse such a handsome husband? Jean Julien raised his eyes and looked towards her. What did you just say? The man's eyes were as dark as ink. Saishir sensed danger almost at first sight. She hesitated. She couldn't even control a scumbag like Lin Jinghao, so how could she be her match for this man? Har har, that. I was just angry and talking nonsense, don't take it to heart. Bye. After saying that, she turned and left. But who would have thought that the man behind him would suddenly sneer, sure enough, you are just like them, you all despise me for being a cripple, right? Cripple? When Lu Ran heard these two words, his eyes almost popped out. You know, these two words are usually Ju Ye's Achilles heel. But today, he actually mentioned it on his own initiative. Saishir paused in his running steps and looked back. I saw the car door was open, and the extremely handsome man was actually sitting in a wheelchair. Looking at his cold and sarcastic sneer, Saishir suddenly felt that he shared the same suffering. Her brain twitched again, and she simply turned back. Who said I disliked you? I'm just afraid that you're too good looking and might flirt with other men, causing me to make the same mistake again. However, now that she knew he was a cripple, she felt relieved. A crippled person, even if he wants to cheat in the future, I'm afraid he won't be able to do so. Humph. The man sneered, Lu Ran, go back. Just as the car door was about to close, a small white hand suddenly came up to it. Zhang Julian frowned unhappily and asked coldly, what? Saishir shook the household registration book in his hand, and pointed at the household registration book next to the man. Since we're here anyway, why not get the certificate before leaving? It won't be a wasted trip. Are you sure you want to marry me? Saishir smiled, sir, you don't have the habit of cheating, right? Lu Ran, miss, our master Ju has never even been in a relationship, how could he cheat? Before he finished speaking, he suddenly felt a chill as if a mountain was pressing down on his head. Lu Ran was startled, then realized that he had said the wrong thing, and quickly shut his mouth. That's no problem, let's go. Saishir turned around and walked towards the gate of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Her hair, with an inexplicably familiar fragrance, passed through the man's nostrils. Zhang Julian's eyes, as deep as the sea, flashed, and he said coldly to Lu Ran, what are you still standing there for? Oh, yes. Lu Ran hurried forward, pushed Zhang Julian down, and followed Saishir's footsteps. 10 minutes later, Saishir walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau holding the fresh and hot marriage certificate. In just half an hour, she not only went from being single to being married, but she even changed her marriage partner. Did she really do such a ridiculous thing? If Dad knew about this, I don't know if his heart would be able to take it. Your name is Saishir. Zhang Julian glanced at the marriage certificate. Saishir nodded and took a look at the marriage certificate. Battle of Julian? This name, why does it sound familiar? Before Saishir could think about it, Zhang Julian gave Lu Ran a look. Lu Ran understood and handed her an agreement, sign it. Saishir took a closer look. Prenuptial agreement. I glanced through the first 2 pages and saw some clauses about protecting each party's premarital property. It should have been prepared for another woman before. Thinking that he didn't have much property, Saishir turned directly to the last page and signed his name readily. Because she didn't read it carefully, she didn't know that the last 8 pages of the prenuptial agreement listed in detail everything Zhang Julian transferred to her, including real estate, insurance, funds, and all the shares of a small listed company. Zhang Julian is not short of money, so he will naturally not be stingy with his woman. One more thing. I want to split the expenses in the future. Saishir said seriously. Lu Ran blinked, thinking he had heard it wrong. Zhang Julian glanced at her again, are you sure? Saishir nodded seriously, I'm sure. The car this man drives doesn't look like a luxury car. Moreover, the watch on his wrist was an old-style steel watch, which must not be in very good condition. Her father's heart surgery drained away all her savings. I really don't have the energy and the willingness to support another man. Then do as you say. Zhang Julian's eyes were indifferent, without any intention of forcing. Saishir was about to say something when his phone suddenly rang again. This time, it was the hospital that called. Hello, is this Miss Sai? Your father just suddenly ran out of the ward and injured a lady. During the argument, he became very emotional and fainted. Please come over and take a look. What? I'll be right there. My father has chronic heart failure, and the most taboo thing is excessive mood swings, which can easily endanger his life. Saishia hung up the phone. Sorry, I have something important to deal with right now, let's contact you another day. Seeing her pale face, Jean-Ju asked inexplicably, "Need help?" 003, do I look poor? Help? You are still in a wheelchair, how can you help? No need. Saishir waved his hand, quickly hailed a taxi and left. Looking at the taxi going away, Jean Juyen was silent for a while before he said, "Do I look poor?" Lu Ran almost spit it out. The third young master of the Jean family, the richest man in Peicheng and one of the top 10 even in country A. If you are poor, there will be few rich people in the world. Ahem, maybe Miss Sai Madam has misunderstood something. Before he finished speaking, the phone in his pocket rang. He said a few words, then covered the microphone and handed the phone to Jean Juyen, lowering his voice and saying, "Master Ju, it's the old man calling." Jean Juyen took the phone nonchalantly with an indifferent look on his face. "Hello." When Mr. Jean heard his youngest son's voice, he immediately asked, "How is it, have you got the marriage certificate?" Jean Juyen lowered his head, his fingertips groping for the gentle smiling face of Xie Tianjing, the boss of the marriage certificate, and said, Old Master Jean finally breathed a sigh of relief. "You finally got the marriage certificate. You are almost 30 years old and have a child. You should have settled down a long time ago. I heard that the second young lady of the Qin family is a very nice person. She is dignified and generous, and she likes children very much. I believe she and Xiaobao can get along well. Have you said enough?" When the child was mentioned, Jean Juyen's face instantly turned 3 shades colder. Mr. Jean was choked. This youngest son is arrogant and proud. He was tricked into having Xiaobao. No wonder he has no feelings for this child. Mr. Jean has 3 sons and 1 daughter, and Jean Juyen is the youngest. Because of his inconvenient legs and feet, he was particularly fond of his youngest son. Even when speaking, I was very careful, for fear of making him unhappy. I'm sorry for being so nosy. Do you think you can bring your new wife to our old house today and have a meal together? Your mother personally cooked your favorite dish today. I'm busy. Jean Juyen said this coldly and hung up the phone directly. Lu Ran took the phone, and seemed to be used to this kind of communication between the father and son. "Master Ju, where are we going now?" "Go back to the company." "Yes." "Hospital, cardiac surgery inpatient ward." When Saishia hurried over, he happened to meet Director Li coming out of his father's ward. "He is my father's attending physician." "Director Li, how is my father doing?" Director Li looked at Saishia, who was sweating and looking pale, and comforted him, "Don't worry, he's awake. I just checked him and there's nothing wrong with him for now." Saishia breathed a sigh of relief. "However, your father just scratched a lady. She has gone to treat the wound, and I left her phone number on the bedside. You'd better go and apologize to her, otherwise if someone calls the police, it will be very troublesome." "Thank you, Director Li." After thanking him, Saishia pushed the door and walked in. As soon as Sai Cheng saw Saishia, his mood, which had just calmed down, became excited again. Xia, do you know who I saw?" "I saw your mother, she's back." As he spoke, his face was a little confused again, but she said she didn't know me at all and wanted to call the police to arrest me. Saishia guessed that this was the reason. Because this isn't the first time this has happened. Before he became an alcoholic, my father was a teacher. He was well-mannered and had a good temper. Suddenly one day, my mother took my sister and left home, and there was no news of them ever again. Because of this reason, my father was depressed all day long and drank to drown his sorrows. Every time he gets drunk, he would stop a middle-aged woman who looks like his mother and tangle with her. Because of this incident, Saishia wanted to say sorry to death. "Dad, have you been drinking again?" Saishia walked over with a sullen face. "It's only been a short while since your surgery, and you're still drinking. Are you trying to kill yourself?" Sai Chenggang quickly shook his head. Xia, I didn't drink alcohol today, and I didn't do anything wrong. I really didn't recognize the wrong person." Saishia sighed softly. Every time my father identified the wrong person, he used the same excuse. Seeing that his daughter looked unhappy, Sai Chenggang blamed himself and said, Xia, did I delay you from getting the marriage certificate?" Saishia felt a little uncomfortable when he saw his father being so cautious, but his expression immediately softened. "No, I've already got the certificate. That's right, I just changed my husband." Seeing his daughter getting married, Sai Chenggang's eyebrows relaxed and he didn't mention what happened just now. That's great, congratulations. Saishir was worried that he wanted to see the marriage certificate, so he changed the subject. Dad, you haven't had lunch yet, right? What do you want to eat? I'll make it for you. Just like yesterday. Then wait, I'll be back soon. Before leaving, Saishir took the phone number on the desk with him. After going downstairs, she stood in the open space in front of the hospital and dialed the other party's number. Sorry, the number you dialed is turned off. Please try again later. Is the power off? Saishir thought about it, then sent a text message to the other party. The general content was that she was Sai Chingang's daughter and she wanted to apologize to her in person, hoping that the other party would contact her after seeing the message. After sending the message, she turned and went to the cafeteria. What she didn't know was that as soon as she left, two beautifully dressed women came out of the emergency room not far behind her. Judging from their age, they should be a mother and daughter. The mother removed the SIM card from the phone, broke it into pieces, and threw it into the trash can. The daughter looked at the scars on her mother's arm and was furious. Mommy, tell me quickly who hurt you. I will never let him go. The mother's eyes flickered. He is just an insignificant person. I don't intend to cause trouble for him. So let it be. Mommy, you are always so soft-hearted and kind. No wonder you have been oppressed by that old witch for so many years. I really feel sorry for you. As if she had thought of something, a sinister look flashed across her mother's eyes. Don't talk about me. I'm more worried about you now. Me? What do I have to worry about? We are returning to China this time mainly because of you. Remember, you must rely on your son to gain status this time. Not only must you capture the man's heart, but you must also find a way to get close to the little boy. He seems to be ill, so you may have to spend more time on it, understand? Oh, you've said this hundreds of times, I remember it all. As my daughter said this, her delicate and beautiful face was filled with confidence and pride. He's just a little brat. She has been hanging out in the upper class with her mother for so long, how could she not be able to deal with him? It's just coaxing a child, isn't it just playing with him and giving him snacks? How difficult can it be? Mommy is really worrying too much. 004, breaking through the unbearable scene. Ward. Saishir had just brought out the food when his cell phone rang. She thought it was the injured person who contacted her, so she quickly took out her cell phone. Who knew, it turned out to be the company that called. She frowned suspiciously and pressed the answer button. Hello, Sister Wang. Xiaoxia, come to the store within half an hour. Saishir was stunned for a moment, but Sister Wang, my father had surgery, so I asked for a week's leave. It's only been 4 days. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Come back right away if I tell you to. If you're 1 minute late, you don't have to come again. Hey do. Saishir was about to say something when the call was hung up. She looked up speechlessly and met her father's gaze. Is the store urging you to go back to work? Saishia's job is a salesperson at a domestic high-end custom dress studio. She had planned to apply for the fashion design major in college, so she is quite knowledgeable in this area. In addition, the store manager knew that her family was not well off, so he would occasionally arrange some clothing design work for her so that she could earn some extra money. All in all, the income is pretty good. But who could have thought that she, who worked as a salesperson during the day and a part-time designer at night, would raise an ungrateful person like Lin Jinghao? Saishia put aside his chaotic thoughts and nodded. It must be something urgent. Dad, I'll go over and take a look first. I've arranged a nurse here. Call me if there's anything else. Sai Chenggang nodded thoughtfully. Looking at the woman's hurried back, he finally said, Xia, when she was about to step out of the door. Saishia turned around. Jinghao's career is booming now, and you two will have a good life in the future. Have you ever considered quitting your job? You are married now, and taking care of your husband and children is your top priority. Saishia's eyes flickered. Dad, that's Lin Jinghao's career, not mine. I like my current job very much, and the salary is good. I don't plan to quit. You often work overtime until the early morning in your job. Dad is worried that you will be tired. Dad, don't worry about it. I'm not tired at all. I'm leaving now. Sai Chenggang sighed lightly, picked up the food at hand and started eating absent-mindedly. No. He would have to find a chance to talk to Lin Jinghao later. He couldn't let Xia suffer so much anymore. Half an hour later. As soon as Saishia stepped into the studio, he heard several voices talking. Sister Wang, Miss Chin is our store's VVIP. She spends millions every time. She was originally your customer, why did you give her to Saishia? Do you think I'm willing? The store manager knew Miss Chin was coming and specifically told me to let her come over to receive him. What can I do? The store manager again. I heard before that he secretly gave Saishia some extra money, but now he's leaving the customers to her. Are they having an affair? Of course she is. I suspect that little bitch Saishia must be very good in bed, otherwise why would the store manager be so diligent in making money for her? You take advantage of your youth and beauty to do this kind of thing, and you don't think it's disgusting. I heard that her mother ran off with a man a few years ago. It's not hard to understand why a person like her, who was born by a father but not raised by a mother, would do such a thing. Do you think that her father had a heart attack because of her chaotic private life? Bang! Suddenly there was a loud noise at the door, which scared the women who were gossiping and made them jump up. They all turned around and saw Saishia standing there with a gloomy face, and two mannequins lying on the ground at his feet. Sister Wang didn't like her in the first place, and now she was startled and got furious. Saishia, what are you doing? I asked you to come over to work overtime but you kicked things. What do you mean? If you don't want to work, get out of here right away. The manager is not here, and no one will tolerate you. Saishia stared at Sister Wang coldly. Sister Wang, I remember you are not even 40 years old yet, how come you have Alzheimer's disease? A crack appeared on Sister Wang's delicate face in an instant. Who are you scolding? I'm just reminding you, who was it that took out a half-finished skirt for Miss Chin to try on last month, causing her to get so angry? The store manager asked me to take over because he was afraid of losing this big customer. If it weren't for me, not only would you not get the 20,000 commission, but you would also lose your job. Not only do you not know how to repay your gratitude, you also gossip about me and throw dirty water behind my back. Saishia's tone became serious. Is this how people who are born by their fathers and raised by their mothers do things? You? Sister Wang was speechless. When the shop assistants nearby heard this, they immediately lowered their heads in embarrassment. So there is such a hidden story behind this matter? They are so mean. Why do they have to talk about these things with Sister Wang? You know, what the store manager hates the most is gossips. If Saishia complains to the store manager, they will probably lose their jobs. Shia, actually we were just joking just now. Yeah, don't take it personally. We are all colleagues. Saishia had a blank expression on his face and interrupted directly. The premise of joking is that I have to find it funny, not offensive. Also, the year-end performance evaluation is coming soon. If you keep slacking off here every day, it's not certain whether you can be my colleague next year. After saying this, she turned and walked towards the VIP reception room. Wait a minute, one of the colleagues was about to open his mouth to remind her, but was suddenly grabbed by Sister Wang. What are you doing? Besides Miss Chin, there is also. Sure. Sister Wang quickly covered her mouth. You idiot, she has made enemies with all of you now. If she doesn't leave, we will be the ones to leave. My colleague suddenly realized what was going on and immediately shut up. Sister Wang crossed her arms over her chest and looked coldly at Saishia's back. Little bitch, I'll be waiting here to see what happens to you. Over there, Saishia walked to the door of the VIP reception room and knocked gently. Miss Chin. There was no response from inside. Saishia looked up and saw that the light at the door was on, which proved that someone was inside. Could it be that he waited for too long and fell asleep? Miss Chin, I'm coming in. Saishia said as he gently pushed the door open and walked in. There were limited edition LV handbags in the living room, and a pair of handmade high heels were thrown on the ground in the middle of the room. From time to time, slight collision sounds could be heard in the locker room. A female voice pleaded, No, Ting, don't stay here, go back, okay? Please. I like it here, it's exciting. Ting, don't do this. Don't do that. I treat you like this because I like you. Are you really going to marry my uncle? Just say the word and I'll stop immediately and drive you to the Civil Affairs Bureau myself. I don't want it. Who wants to marry a cripple? Then why are you still talking nonsense? Don't you know that a night of love is worth 1,000 gold? But, well. The woman's lips seemed to be sealed. Then there was a sound of pulling clothes. Saishia was an experienced person, so how could he not know what happened when he heard the noise? just preparing to exit at the speed of light. Sudden. Who? 005, we are not done yet. A man's voice sounded, and the door to the locker room opened. Saishir sped away. She didn't dare look back. If she saw the man's face, she would be in big trouble. But just as she ran to the door, someone suddenly grabbed her arm. Bang! His body was forced to turn around, with his back against the door. Who let you in? Saishir looked up in shock, and saw a handsome man pressing her against the door, staring down at her. The moment their eyes met, a hint of surprise unexpectedly flashed in his sinister eyes. This woman is so beautiful. For a moment, Saishir felt that this man looked familiar. However, she didn't think about it and quickly lowered her head. Sorry, I went to the wrong door. Wrong door. The man snorted coldly, lowered his head and sniffed her hair. This woman smelled good. Is this how you waiters attract men's attention now? Waiter? Attract men's attention? Saishir was insulted. I'm sorry, maybe you've met a lot of waiters who came to your door, but I'm definitely not one of them. Your behavior of disrespecting women's wishes is disgusting. She slapped the man's hand away and said coldly, also, I'm not a waiter, I'm a salesperson. Excuse me, leave first. Not only are you leaving, you don't have to come back again. At this time, a female voice came from the locker room. Saishir turned around and saw Chin Shiyu had already put on her clothes and walked out. There was still a hint of blush on that delicate face, but her eyes were filled with anger. She was embarrassed and awkward to be caught in such a thing. But when she came out, she saw the man holding Saishir between the door and his body with one hand. It was obvious in his eyes that he was amazed by her, and she was immediately jealous. She walked in front of Saishir in her high heels. Don't you know you should knock before entering? You are just a lousy clothes seller, and you don't have such professional ethics. I will complain to your store manager and fire you. Saishir felt that this was unreasonable, so he patiently said, Ms. Chin, I knocked on the door, but you may have been too engrossed with this gentleman to hear me. Too involved. Is this a mockery of her? Chin Shiyu was immediately furious. If Zhang Jingting hadn't been there, she would have rushed up and slapped her hard a few times in order to maintain her image as a lady. I won't talk nonsense with you. Suppressing her anger, she took out her cell phone and called the store manager. Manager Zhao, not only did your employee break into the reception room without knocking, she also slandered me for having an affair with a gentleman I was traveling with. You must not keep this kind of person, fire her immediately. Otherwise, I guarantee that you won't be able to keep this store here. When Sister Wang and the others who had been standing outside the door heard this, they were extremely happy. Although the Qin family is not one of the 4 major families in Peicheng, everyone knows that she is about to marry Zhang Juyan. To offend her is to offend the Zhang family. This time, they didn't believe Saishia would be able to turn things around. In less than 10 minutes, Manager Zhao hurried over. As soon as he entered the door, he started apologizing profusely. Qin Shiyu had a cold face and sat on the sofa with her arms folded across her chest. Zhang Jingting leaned loosely on the sofa, crossed his legs, and looked at Saishia meaningfully. Ms. Qin, Saishia has always been very sensible. Is there any misunderstanding here? Zhao Zhao asked cautiously. Sister Wang took the opportunity to add fuel to the fire. Manager, what kind of misunderstanding could there be? We wanted to remind her at the time, but who knew that she was so eager to take credit that she just barged in? Shut up! Zhao Zhao yelled. Qin Shiyu snorted coldly, find out whether it's a misunderstanding or not. This is your business and has nothing to do with me. I'll give you 2 choices. First, fire Saishia, and I'll take all the clothes on the shelves in the store. As she spoke, she pulled out a black and gold card from her bag and threw it on the coffee table. Sister Wang and her friends have seen the world. Just by looking at the card surface, they knew that this was an unlimited overdraft credit card, and their eyes immediately lit up. The second option is to keep Saishia. I will call my fiancé right away and have your store disappear from Peicheng within a day. Call your fiancé? Saishia keenly grasped the key point. Isn't the man next to her fiancé? No wonder she insisted on driving me away. She was afraid that the news would leak out. I didn't expect that Qin Shiyu, who appears dignified and elegant on the surface, is actually so dirty in private. Ms. Qin, please don't be angry. I believe Saishia is not the kind of person who gossips. There must be a misunderstanding here. Zhao Zhao's words completely angered Qin Shiyu. She slammed the table and stood up. What do you mean? She doesn't gossip. Did I do something wrong? That's not what I meant. Mr. Zhao, I think you don't want this store anymore. If that's the case, I won't be polite anymore. Qin Shiyu immediately took out her cell phone, turned it on, and dialed a number. Honey, I've been bullied. This store even dares to bully me. They don't even take you seriously. Come here quickly to help me vent my anger. On the other end of the phone, Lu Ran held the phone with a speechless look on his face. When Miss Qin called just now, Mr. Zhu was too lazy to answer the phone himself and just asked him to turn on the speaker. Since the two got engaged, Zhu Yi gave her an additional card to cover all her expenses. Who knew that what I got in return was being stood up when I came to get the certificate today? Originally, I thought she called to apologize. Unexpectedly, the first thing she asked was to ask Zhu Yi to come over and help her. Really? Where are you? Zhang Juyan asked indifferently. Qin Shiyu immediately gave the address. New. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Juyan looked at Lu Ran and said, "Prepare the car." Lu Ran's eyes almost popped out. Is Mr. Zhu really planning to go over and support her? Could it be that he really fell in love with Qin Shiyu, and didn't even care about being stood up when getting the marriage certificate? Although confused, Lu Ran did not dare to ask more questions and hurried to prepare the car. On the other side, after Qin Shiyu hung up the phone, she snorted triumphantly, "My fiancé will be here soon, just wait." Sister Wang immediately became anxious. Manager Zhao, while Miss Qin's fiancé hasn't arrived yet, quickly fire Saixia. Maybe there's still room for redemption. Manager Zhao was also bleeding with heartache. Of course he wanted to keep his shop, but if he fired Saixia, his studio would be ruined too. Seeing that she couldn't persuade Zhao Zhao, Sister Wang could only point her finger at Saixia. "Saixia, Manager Zhao hasn't taken care of you in the past few years, has he? People should be grateful. If you still have a conscience, you should get out of here instead of getting Manager Zhao and us into trouble." Saixia clenched her fists. In the past few years, if it weren't for the care of Manager Zhao, she would not even have a college degree, and would have no chance to earn a high salary of over 10,000 yuan, and naturally she would not be able to afford her father's surgery. She couldn't implicate Manager Zhao. "Miss Qin, you don't have to call anyone, I can go by myself." After saying this, Saixia turned around and was about to leave. But who knew that Qin Shiyu would not give in? "You know how to give in now. It's too late. Today, either you kneel down and apologize to me, and then get out of Peicheng. Otherwise, we are not done. 006. Are you worried about me? Get out of Peicheng?" She is afraid that she will expose her ugly deeds. Saixia's eyes were cold. "Miss Qin, there's an old saying that goes, if you don't want others to know, then don't do it. Some things are best not to be done to the extreme. You've gone too far." Qin Shiyu refused to give in. "I asked you to kneel down and apologize. Leaving Peicheng is already giving you a chance. My fiancé has a bad temper. If you offend him, kneeling down won't solve the problem. Believe it or not, this store will disappear along with you." Sister Wang didn't want to lose this high-paying job, so she called two colleagues and grabbed Saixia's arms. Saixia's expression suddenly changed. "What are you doing?" Sister Wang said sternly, "Saixia, you caused this mess yourself, why should we suffer with you? Since you can't bring yourself to kneel down and apologize, we will help you out for the sake of our relationship as colleagues." As she spoke, she winked at another colleague. The two men understood what she meant and twisted her arms, trying to force her to kneel down. "Let me go." Saixia struggled hard. "You ungrateful thing." Sister Wang cursed and kicked her hard in the leg. Suddenly, a black shadow rushed over like lightning. After two muffled thuds, Saixia felt the pressure on his body suddenly disappear. When she turned around, she saw Sister Wang and another colleague lying on their backs on the ground, holding their thighs and grimacing in pain. What is happening? At this time, a tall and straight figure walked straight up to her and said respectfully, "Madam, are you okay?" Saixia looked up and saw Lu Ran with a concerned look on his face. His coming, does it mean that Zhang Juyan is also? She quickly looked towards the door and saw Zhang Juyan sitting in a wheelchair. The man's cold eyes were as deep as the sea, staring at everything that had just happened with a very cold and displeased look. I'm fine, but why are you here?" Saixia stood up. Lu Ran turned his head and looked at Qin Shiyu. "It's Miss Qin." "Qin Shiyu?" "Yes." Qin Shiyu was still there. If she knew that Zhang Juyan was her husband, she would definitely make trouble for him. The two of them had just gotten their marriage certificate, and she didn't want to owe anyone a favor. Thinking of this, Sai Xia didn't even give Lu Ran a chance to finish his words, and rushed to Zhang Juyan in one step. The man frowned, but before he could say anything, he felt the wheelchair turn. Sai Xia pushed him and rushed out at the speed of light. Zhang Juyan. Sai Xia rushed out for more than 10 meters, and when he turned around, he found that Qin Shiyu had chased him out. She looked around and went straight into the fitting room of a women's clothing store. After closing the door, Sai Xia turned around and lay on the crack of the door, carefully peeking out to see if Qin Shiyu and the others had caught up with him. "What are you doing?" Zhang Juyan frowned and spoke unhappily. Who would have thought that before he could finish his words, Sai Xia immediately rushed over and covered his mouth with his hands. Sure. Zhang Juyan has a cold personality and doesn't like to get close to anyone. Especially after the unexpected plot 4 years ago, he became even more resistant to women. Logically speaking, when Sai Xia covered his lips with both hands, his first reaction should be to kick her away. But he found that he didn't feel disgusted at all. What's going on? In the fitting room, it was suddenly so quiet that only the sound of breathing could be heard. Sai Xia felt something was wrong. When she looked carefully, she found that Zhang Juyan was staring at her deeply. That gaze was hot and firm, as if it could penetrate everything and reach her heart. Sai Xia was startled and quickly let go of his hand, trying to step back. But the more anxious she was, the more mistakes she made. She was suddenly tripped by something and fell directly onto Zhang Juyan's lap. Although the man was sitting in a wheelchair, his thighs were still strong and his muscles were clearly visible. As soon as he sat down, Sai Xia's face became hot. She struggled to stand up. "Excuse me, Ayur." This time, it was her mouth that was covered. Zhang Juyan used his free right hand to hold her waist to stop her from struggling. He lowered his voice and blew into her ear, "There's movement outside." Sai Xia blinked. The next second, I heard a burst of hurried footsteps. Then, Qin Shiyu's voice rang out in frustration, "What's going on? I clearly saw them coming this way, why can't I see anyone? Waiter, go check over to the fitting room right now." "Miss, no one came in just now." "Are you dazzled? I'm telling you, I'll be the third young master's wife of the Zhang family soon. If you dare not listen to me, I'll bankrupt you in a minute. Don't get excited, we'll find it right away." As soon as he finished speaking, Sai Xia could hear the doors of the fitting rooms next door being opened and closed one by one. Seeing the footsteps getting closer, Sai Xia felt his hair stand on end. Zhang Juyan pinched her slender waist and whispered, "Are you afraid of her?" Sai Xia thought, once the door opens, they won't be able to hide anymore. So she didn't care about it and directly pulled down the man's hand, looking at him with a depressed face. "It's all your fault." "Me?" Zhang Juyan raised his eyebrows. "That woman was fooling around with another man behind her fiancé's back, and I accidentally caught her there." "Really?" The man's eyes were indifferent, with a cold and sinister look in them. "I'm not afraid of a head-on confrontation with her, but if you suddenly show up and she finds out about our relationship, what if she comes to trouble you? I heard that her fiancé is very powerful, an incredible figure." The originally cold man's eyes flickered after hearing Sai Xia's words. "So, you hid here to protect me? What else?" Sai Xia was a little frustrated. "But don't worry, I won't get you into trouble. Hide inside and don't come out. If she asks, just say you don't know me." As soon as she finished speaking, she stood up and pushed open the door of the fitting room. "You little bitch, I was already very generous of you to ask you to kowtow and admit your mistake, but you actually dared to run away. You are simply courting death." Qin Shiyu cursed harshly and raised her hand to slap Sai Xia in the face. Sai Xia reacted quickly and turned his head to avoid it. Seeing that her slap missed, Qin Shiyu was furious and turned to Zhang Jingting. "Jingting, look at her, she even dared to hide." He was really curious how she could resist to that extent. So, he spoke lazily, "Miss Sai Xia, right? I advise you to stand up straight and take this slap well." Sai Xia sneered, "Why? If I refuse, does this gentleman intend to do it himself?" 007, a wonderful scene. Laugh. Zhang Jingting laughed, "I never hit women, and I don't plan to make an exception in the future. But I want to remind you. Xingdar Plaza is an asset of the Zhang family, and Miss Jean's fiancé is the head of the Jean family. Forget about asking your store to move out of Shindar Plaza. With just one word from him, this store will no longer have a place to stay in Peicheng. Do you believe it? Saixia looked at Zhang Jingting. He looks decent, but his work is extremely disgusting. He is simply not worthy of being a man. Then I have to remind you that truth will never come to light. Knowing the identity of Miss Jean's fiancé, you still get entangled with her. Do you think you will have a good ending? Zhang Jingting's face changed, and he was obviously afraid of this matter. However, Qin Shiyu didn't take it to heart at all. She even took Zhang Jingting's arm provocatively and glared at Saixia with contempt. Really? The cripple will be here soon. Otherwise, let's wait and see whether he will believe his fiancé and nephew, or listen to the nonsense of an inferior like you. Nephew? Saixia's worldview was shattered. This pair of dogs is just as bad as Lin Jinghao and Su Yinxi. No need to wait. At this moment, a voice as cold as ice was heard. Saixia was startled and turned around quickly. Then I saw Zhang Juyan with a cold face, slowly pushing open the door of the fitting room. She hurried forward and lowered her voice. Didn't I tell you to stay inside and not come out? Zhang Juyan's eyes were filled with coldness. Although I am a cripple, I can't just watch others bully my wife. Didn't I just tell you to bite yourself and say you didn't know me? Now, you have revealed our relationship in just one sentence. I can't even save myself, how can I save you? Just when Saixia was feeling dizzy and didn't know what to do, a terrified and almost trembling voice suddenly came from behind him. Third uncle. Third uncle. She quickly turned around and saw Zhang Jingting's face was pale, staring at Zhang Juyan in amazement. Qin Shiyu's eyes were wide open, and her lips trembled for a long time before she uttered a few words. Yang, why are you here? Zhang Juyan raised his eyes coldly, with a stern smile on his lips. Speaking of which, I have to thank you. If you hadn't called me to come over, I'm afraid I wouldn't have seen such a wonderful scene. Boom! Qin Shiyu's head exploded and she almost fell down. What Zhang Juyan meant by this was that he heard everything she and Zhang Jingting said just now. She called him a cripple and admitted her betrayal with Zhang Jingting. Qin Shiyu's mind went blank and she had no idea how to refute. Zhang Jingting reacted quickly. He licked his lips and said, Uncle San, you just said Saixia is your wife. What do you mean? Zhang Juyan said coldly, it means literally, it's hard to understand. Lu Ran stepped forward to explain, Master Zhu has already obtained the marriage certificate with Miss Sai. Zhang Jingting was completely stunned. His mouth opened into an O shape, almost enough to fit an egg. Qin Shiyu reacted immediately after hearing this. Her eyes rolled and tears welled up. Ian, didn't you say you would get the marriage certificate with me today? I was just a little late, but you went straight to get the certificate with an inferior person. You are too much. It was only at this moment that Saixia finally understood the whole story. It turns out that the one who stood up Zhang Juyan was Qin Shiyu. Etc. Qin Shiyu just said that her fiancé is the helmsman of the Zhang family. In a flash, Saixia suddenly remembered that he had read an interview with Zhang Juyan in a financial magazine before. No wonder she felt the name looked familiar when she saw it on the marriage certificate. Saixia blinked and looked at the man in the wheelchair in disbelief. In a trance, it felt like I was in a dream. She actually had a flash marriage with Zhang Juyan, the billionaire in Peicheng. Over there, Qin Shiyu was still thinking. No wonder Saixia pushed Zhang Juyan away as soon as he appeared. It turned out that she deliberately hid him in the fitting room and then induced me to say those words so that Zhang Juyan could hear them. It's so vicious. Yang, I've seen a lot of people like Saixia. Their family isn't well off, but they are always thinking about marrying a rich man and sucking his blood. I've been spending money at their store before, and she already knew that you were my fiancé. She must have deliberately gone to the Civil Affairs Bureau to wait for you, and then came here to direct and act out this scene, completely cutting off your chance of turning back. Yes, that must be the case. A lowly servant like her would do anything disgusting to get a man of your status and position. Don't let her fool you. Qin Shiyu's words became more and more outrageous, even to the point of personal attacks. Saixia could no longer tolerate it. Miss Qin, are all the ladies from the famous families in Peicheng like you, calling you a little bitch when you open your mouth and a lowly person when you close your mouth? If you hadn't told me, I would have thought you were a street-swearing shrew that came out of some corner. A crack instantly appeared on Qin Shiyu's delicate face. Saishia, you lowlife, who are you calling a bitch? Saishia seemed to be frightened and quickly threw himself into Zhang Julian's arms, with his little hands wrapped around his neck. Zhang Julian was suddenly embraced by a warm and soft beauty, and his body stiffened instantly. He almost subconsciously put his hand on her waist. I had intended to push her away. But the inexplicably pleasant fragrance in her hair made him change the action of pushing her away into hugging her slender waist. This woman's waist is so thin and soft, and even feels familiar. He couldn't help but rub it gently with his fingertips. Saishia seemed to sense his unruly behavior, and her scalp went numb. But in order to play this scene well, she had to bite the bullet and lean on him obediently. Husband, look at her, she actually scolded me like this. We have already obtained the marriage certificate. Husband and wife are one. She scolded me for being a scumbag. Is she also scolding you for being a scumbag? Seeing this scene, Qin Shiyu's curse words got stuck in her throat, and she almost suffocated to death because of the breath she couldn't breathe out. You know, although she was verbally engaged to Zhang Julian had never hugged her, let alone touched her hand. But now, he was hugging and kissing that bitch Saishia in public. Although she didn't like Zhang Julian, this was a huge humiliation for her, who had been the center of attention since childhood. Saishia, you are such a scumbag, shameless, despicable. You? Qin Shiyu was about to curse, but suddenly she heard Zhang Julian's cold rebuke, shut up. 008, he actually has a child. It was the first time that Qin Shiyu was yelled at in public. She felt very aggrieved. Ian, I didn't want to marry you, so you deliberately got the marriage certificate with the woman who carried my shoes. Now you're yelling at me for her. You're deliberately disgusting me, right? Saishia frowned. She is a salesperson and sometimes she chooses shoes, hats and accessories for customers. How come it became a shoe carrier when it came into Qin Shiyu's mouth? She was about to stand up and refute, but she felt a tightness around her waist. Zhang Julian's big hand closed and held her in his arms. You turned off your phone and refused to answer the phone when you got the marriage certificate, and you ran to the mall to fool around with my nephew. You are even more disgusting than him. I didn't, Jing Ting, and I just. Seeing Qin Shiyu stuttering for a long time and unable to say anything, Zhang Jingting felt so ashamed. He rushed forward and grabbed her arm. Let's go, don't embarrass yourself here. Why am I so embarrassed? It was obviously that little bitch Saishia who. Shut up. Zhang Jingting scolded, lowering his voice and saying, don't forget, there are surveillance cameras in the VIP reception room. Shunda is the Zhang family's property, and it only takes a few minutes for third uncle to adjust the surveillance cameras. Come with me now to deal with the surveillance cameras, and stop making trouble. Qin Shiyu's face changed, and she left in a hurry reluctantly. Saishia just breathed a sigh of relief when he heard a cold and majestic voice above his head. You feel comfortable in my arms. Are you addicted to hugging me? Scare. Saishia suddenly woke up and almost jumped out of the man's arms. She didn't know why, but ever since she knew the man's true identity, she had an inexplicable fear and awe of him. I heard that there are a lot of open and secret struggles within wealthy families. Coupled with Zhang Julian's weird and unpredictable temper, she felt as if she had just escaped from a wolf's den and entered a tiger's den. Saishia spoke a little uncomfortably, I didn't know you were the president of Dingfeng Group. Zhang Julian's eyes were indifferent. It's not too late to know now. But if I had known this earlier, I would never have gotten this certificate from you, okay? Before Saishia could finish his words, Lu Ran's phone suddenly rang. After he said a few brief words, he frowned and walked to Zhang Julian's side. Master Zhu, the old man called and said that the young master bit someone in the kindergarten, and the headmaster personally sent him back. He hid in the cupboard, refusing to see anyone or eat. The old man is very worried and wants you to go over and take a look. If you don't want to eat, then you'll be hungry until you eat. Zhang Julian's brows were cold. Prepare the car and go back to the company. Lu Ran pursed his lips and asked tentatively, don't you want to go over and take a look? Zhang Julian's eyes darkened, and his tone was grim. Is there a word you don't understand? No. A drop of cold sweat slid down Lu Ran's forehead. Every time the young master was mentioned, Zhu Yi's temperament would suddenly drop, and he seemed to hate the child very much. Lu Ran didn't dare to speak again, and hurriedly pushed the wheelchair, ready to leave. However, before he could take 2 steps, he was suddenly stopped by Saishia. What? Saishia looked at him, his tone a little incredulous. I heard your conversation just now. You have a son. Jean Julien frowned, seeming a little impatient. So what? Saishir almost vomited blood when he saw him admit it himself. You have a son, so why didn't you make it clear when you got the marriage certificate? It was unbelievable enough that her husband changed people on the day she got the marriage certificate. If she becomes a stepmother for no reason, her father will definitely break her legs. Jean Julien did not hide any guilt at all. Instead, he calmly lowered his head and glanced at his watch. There is still 1 hour before the Civil Affairs Bureau closes. If you want a divorce, there is still time. Saishir was speechless. This guy has found her weak spot, right? Knowing that she was a girl from an honest family and that her first marriage was very important, he used this matter to threaten her again and again. Do you think she doesn't dare? The man looked up at her and waited patiently. So, do you want to go? Saishir. Well, she really didn't dare. Her first marriage turned into a second marriage, and she was afraid that her father would be mad at her to death. Anyway, they will share the expenses equally after marriage. She doesn't have to raise the child, and they don't interfere in each other's private affairs. It makes little difference whether you have that child or not. After finally brainwashing himself successfully, Saishir held his breath and turned away. Jean Julien looked at her slender back and asked, Are you not going to the Civil Affairs Bureau? Saishir didn't even turn his head. Go ahead if you want. Our Sai family doesn't have the tradition of getting married in the morning and getting divorced in the afternoon. Jean Julien kept his eyes on her until her figure disappeared around the corner, then he withdrew his gaze and said, Let's go. Yes. On the other side, Saishir arrived at the door of the one. Today, after Qin Shiyu's commotion, she might lose her job. My father needs long-term medication for his heart failure, and many of them are imported drugs. Not only are they expensive, but they are also not covered by medical insurance. She also has to find a new job as soon as possible. She took a deep breath and walked into the door. As soon as Zhao Zhao saw her, he immediately came over and asked with concern, Xia, are you okay? Saishir said apologetically, Manager Zhao, I'm sorry for causing you trouble. Don't worry, I will resign this time and won't let Qin Shiyu have the chance to embarrass you. After saying that, she turned around and was about to leave. But who knew that Zhao Zhao grabbed her and said, Xia, what are you talking about? Miss Qin just came and said that as long as we delete the surveillance, we will not pursue today's incident. You don't have to leave, our store is fine. Saishir was stunned. What? I'm not lying to you. Just stay here peacefully from now on. Saishir thought about it and thought that Qin Shiyu might have given in because she was afraid that Jean Julien would come and check the surveillance footage to prove that she cheated. Okay. She breathed a sigh of relief. Now that I have secured this job, I won't have to worry about my father's medicine or the money for a nurse. Xia, the customer really liked the Chinese dress you designed last time. She came to me again this time. Are you interested in trying other elements? Don't worry, I will triple your overtime pay. Triple overtime pay? Saishia's eyes lit up. Is it still settled on the current month? More than that. I know your father is in the hospital recently. If you are short of money, I will settle it for you as soon as the drawings come out. Thank you, Manager Zhao. Come with me to the office, and we'll sit down and discuss the details. Seeing Saishia follow Zhao Zhao to the office, Sister Wang and the others were so jealous that their eyes were about to bleed. And you still say that she and the store manager didn't have an affair? Who would believe that? He followed me to the office in broad daylight and even pulled down the curtains. How shameless. Sister One rolled her eyes and said, Just wait, I have plenty of ways to get rid of her. 009, Jui got slapped in the face. The next day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. After Saishia got off work, he prepared to go to the hospital to see his father. She walked to the side of the road and waited for her online taxi. In less than 2 minutes, a black Rolls-Royce Phantom slowly stopped in front of her. Rolls-Royce. She didn't remember taking such an expensive car. She was about to move to the side when she saw the car window slowly rolled down. Jean Julien's handsome profile appeared in sight. Get in the car. Saishir was stunned for a moment. She didn't know why, but when she saw this face, she felt a little nervous. Well, I called a taxi myself. Before he could finish his words, the man glared at him and said, I told you to get in the car. The strong sense of oppression made Saishir feel as if a mountain was pressing down on him. After hesitating for 2 seconds, she finally opened the car door and got in. The door closed and the car started slowly. Inside the car, the air pressure was very low because of the man. Saishir glanced at the man beside her. His eyebrows were cold, his lips were tight, and the coldness emanating from his whole body made half of her body freeze. So she shrank uncomfortably towards the car door, trying to keep a distance from him. The car drove for more than 10 minutes, and Saishir couldn't help but ask, Master Ju, where are we going? Jean Julian didn't even raise his eyelids. You'll know when you get there. Stinky ice cubes, why are you keeping it a secret? Forget it, she doesn't have much property anyway, so it's not her turn to commit murder or robbery. Saishir was about to turn her head to look out the window to divert her attention when suddenly a handbag from HS was handed to her. She was stunned for a moment, then turned back to look at Jean Julian. What is this? Put it on. Saishir took the handbag and saw that it contained a limited edition light yellow dress and a pair of handmade high heels. This is. Are you going home with me in your uniform? Go home? When Saishir heard this, his nerves immediately tensed up, meeting the parents so soon. But I'm not prepared. You don't have to prepare anything. Saishir's face turned green. She didn't have much spare money, so she couldn't prepare expensive gifts. What she meant was that she wasn't mentally ready to meet her parents yet. She was ready to resist, but Jean Julian glanced at his watch and killed her last thought. You have 5 minutes to change your clothes. But. Besides, there are no parking zones in front of the old house. If you want to get off the car halfway, I advise you to give up this idea as soon as possible. Saishir was completely at his wits' end. This overbearing and dictatorial guy didn't say it earlier or later, but waited until they were on the overpass to tell her the destination. It was obvious that he didn't give her the chance to refuse. Saishir looked at the clothes in his hands, as if he was holding a hot potato, and was speechless for a long time. 2 minutes later, Jean Julian kindly reminded, you still have 3 minutes. Saishir pursed her lips, a blush on her pretty face. There's someone in the car. How can I change? Jean Julian said calmly, the glass is covered with one-way film, which is also soundproof. This means that the driver cannot see the scene in the back seat. Saishir was speechless. He stared at him with a pair of innocent big eyes without saying a word. Jean Julian is such a smart person. With just one look, he understood what she meant. It turns out that this little girl was guarding against him. I'm not that hungry yet. He thought it was a bit ridiculous, so he said it coldly and turned the wheelchair around. He admitted it. Saishir was indeed the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Moreover, she has a kind of cold pride. This kind of woman is the most attractive to men and can most arouse men's desire to conquer. But, what can we do? He has been celibate for many years and has unparalleled self-control. He wouldn't be so upset just by seeing her change her clothes, right? However, what he didn't know was that 2 minutes later, he was slapped hard in the face. Over there, after Saishir unbuttoned 2 buttons, he looked back worriedly. The man was in a wheelchair, and he was looking out the window the entire time, showing no signs of trying to peek. Saishir couldn't help but blush. Jean Julian is the president of Dingfeng after all. He must have seen countless beauties. He wouldn't do anything like peeping at others changing clothes. She was so defensive that it seemed like she was judging others by her own standards. Later, she simply stopped covering it up and changed it openly. But she didn't notice that the man with his back to her had his chest rising and falling gradually unsteadily. Especially when Saishir was left with only his underwear, his Adam's apple began to roll. He unconsciously reached out and tugged at his tie, then tightly closed his eyes. Saishir didn't know that Jean Julian didn't look back. However, the one-way glass reflected the entire process of her changing clothes clearly in the man's eyes. Okay. Saishir said softly. Jean Julian then opened his eyes and turned the wheelchair around. When he saw Saishir, his eyes lit up. The light beige knee-length dress seemed to be tailor-made for her. This woman usually wears a white t-shirt and jeans and looks very thin, but I didn't expect that she has such a nice figure underneath. She has a curvy figure, a slim waist and long legs. It is no exaggeration to say that she is a stunner. The sight of the fair skin on her chest made the heat that Jean Julian had suppressed with great difficulty begin to stir again. The man's gaze was too aggressive, and Saishir was a little overwhelmed. She tugged at the hem of her skirt somewhat unnaturally. Why are you looking at me like that? Is it ugly? Jean Julien swallowed and came back to his senses. He unconsciously loosened his collar a little, as if to relieve the heat. It's not pretty. Just at this moment, the car stopped. The sound of brakes drowned out the man's voice. Saishir leaned over and asked, "What did you just say?" The sweet fragrance of the woman filled his face. Jean Julien reached out his hand and pulled her low ponytail loose. He then pushed half of her hair to her chest to cover the exposed fair skin. Then he said, "This is barely acceptable. Just make do. Does that mean it's okay?" Saishir breathed a sigh of relief and followed the man out of the car. The Jean family's old house is a Chinese-style garden. It is located in the area with the best feng shui and the most expensive land in Peicheng, and it covers a large area. Artificial lakes, rockery and stone forests, exotic flowers and plants, every detail in the garden is meticulously crafted by craftsmen. Saishia knew that Jean Julien was the richest man in Pei City, but he didn't have much idea of how rich their family was. But now, seeing that one of their old houses is comparable to the ruins of Prince Gong's mansion, I finally have a concrete understanding of extravagance. Lu Ran pushed Jean Julien in front, and Saishia followed behind towards the front yard. However, just as they walked to the door of the hall, they heard someone inside slamming the table and saying, "You, the Jean family, must give us an explanation for this matter today. 010, I want Saishir to divorce me." In the living room, Mr. Jean and Mrs. Jean looked very unhappy. They looked at the aggressive Qin family and didn't know what to say for a moment. "Old man, although our Qin family is not as wealthy as your Jean family, it is at least a famous family, right? It was you who came to propose marriage again and again, and you patted your chest and promised that your son would treat Shiyu well, so I nodded and agreed to this marriage. But what about now? Not only did your son leave my daughter aside, he also got married to another woman. This is not the way to play tricks on people, right? Our Shiyu is also a lady from a noble family, innocent and pure. Your son has now abandoned her. How will others view our Shiyu and our Qin family? If you don't give us an explanation for what happened today, we two families will never be done with each other. The Jean family and the Qin family are old friends. At the beginning, Mr. Jean chose Qin Shiyu because she was well behaved and obedient. Now facing Qin Shifren's questioning, he was also at a loss. Nephew Shifeng, don't get too excited. When I called Yang yesterday, he said that he and Shiyu had already obtained the marriage certificate. He couldn't do such a thing, there must be a misunderstanding. Woo woo woo. Qin Shiyu, who had been sitting on the side and crying, couldn't help but speak. Grandpa Jean, Yang admitted to getting the marriage certificate himself. He also hugged that woman in front of me. If you don't believe me, you can go ask Jingting, he saw it with his own eyes. Old Master Jean turned his head and looked at John Jingting, who had been standing in the corner without saying a word. Jingting, is what Shiyu said true? Jean Jingting didn't expect Qin Shiyu to drag him into this. Now that he was named, he could only nod his head and say, "Uncle San, that's exactly what he said." Qin Shiyu's mother, Sai Leroux, also felt humiliated and said angrily, "Grandpa, your Jean family is simply going too far." It was obvious that Mr. Jean was unable to hold on any longer. He quickly called out to their housekeeper Uncle Quan, "Our Quan, you go and check on our Yang right now." "Why hasn't he come yet?" Liu Quan nodded and ran outside. But just after taking 2 steps, I heard a cold voice coming from the door, "Don't rush me, I'm here." As soon as these words were spoken, everyone turned around to look. Then I saw Lu Ran pushing Jean Julien in. Although he is now sitting in a wheelchair, his aura is still terrifying, and just one look at him is enough to make people terrified. Qin Shiyu was feeling a little guilty at first, but when she saw that little bitch Saishia had also followed her to the old house, she immediately became furious. Is a woman who carries her shoes worthy of taking her place and entering the house? Daddy, Mommy, it's her. Our Yang got the marriage certificate with that woman. When Qin Shifeng saw Saishia, he was immediately furious. Mr. Jean asked him to come to the old house to explain, but he brought the woman directly here. What does this mean? Provoke them. But Jean Julien's methods were ruthless and his momentum was too strong, so he didn't dare to offend him. She could only vent her anger on Saishia. "You look young, don't you? Why don't you learn to be a good person? Instead, you just seduce other people's fiancés. Do you have any manners or shame?" When Mr. Jean saw that they were talking rudely, he interrupted them and said, "Ian, is what they said true? Did you really get married with this girl?" Since Jean Julian came in, he has never looked at the Chin family directly. Now that he was questioned by Mr. Jean, he looked at Lu Ran. Lu Ran understood and immediately handed a bright red marriage certificate to Mr. Jean. Mr. Jean and Mrs. Jean came together and looked at it carefully from both near and far. Then he held up the marriage certificate and compared the photo with Saishia. You bastard, you really did such a ridiculous thing. Why didn't you inform us in advance and discuss it with us? Old Mrs. Jean was so angry that she almost vomited blood. Jean Julian didn't seem to care. You didn't even discuss it with me before proposing marriage. I just treated you the same way you treated me, and you can't stand it. Old Master Jean's face turned green and he almost couldn't breathe. Saishia stood awkwardly behind Jean Julian, accepting everyone's angry stares, regretting it so much that his intestines turned green. If she hadn't been so hasty in getting the certificate, she wouldn't be standing here today and becoming the target of everyone's criticism. Although old lady Jean was angry, she couldn't bring herself to say any words of blame when she saw her son sitting in a wheelchair. She said somewhat awkwardly, "Chiffon, Leroux, although our Yang's behavior is absurd, the rice is cooked now, they have already received the certificate, we can't force them to divorce, right?" Sai Leroux almost thought she had heard it wrongly. "Old lady, what do you mean? They got the certificate, so our Shiyu deserves this injustice, right?" After all, she was in the wrong, so old Mrs. Jean touched her nose awkwardly and said nothing. Qin Shiyu saw that the Jean family wanted to make a big deal out of a small matter, so she simply used her trump card. "Old lady, if our Yang finds a true love who is well matched, I will bear this grievance. But do you know what this Saishia does? She is a shoe carrier for me." Old Mrs. Jean was stunned. "What? She is just a lousy waitress in a clothing store. She is always very attentive to me every time I go to buy clothes. I trusted her so much and kept buying things from her. I didn't expect that she was so ambitious and had already set her sights on my fiancé. Isn't this kind of person just after our Yang's money? A woman with evil intentions like this old lady is not qualified to be the daughter-in-law of your Jean family." Old Madame Jean looked at Saishia's young and pretty face with a frown on her face. In fact, it doesn't matter to her who the daughter-in-law is. What matters is that her son is willing to get married. However, if her daughter-in-law is a cunning villain who relies on her beauty and body to cling to the powerful, she cannot let it go. For a moment, Mrs. Jean was at a loss and could only look at Mr. Jean. Mr. Jean felt sorry for his youngest son and didn't want to lose face for him in front of outsiders, so he could only look at Qin Chiffon and said, "Nephew Chiffon, it is true that we did something unkind. How about this, we give you some financial compensation and let this matter go, how about that?" Over the years, Qin Chiffon has gained a lot of benefits by relying on his status as a relative of the Jean family. Now, knowing that the matter is done, they are still planning to cause trouble. After waiting so long for Master Jean to say this, his eyes lit up and he was about to ask for a huge sum of money. But Qin Shiyu got there first and said, "Grandpa Jean, I don't want any financial compensation. Saishia bullied me yesterday because she had a Yang's support. I want her to divorce a Yang and get out of Pei City and never come back in this lifetime. 011, I don't talk to low-class people." Qin Shiyu said this while staring at Saishia with provocative and contemptuous eyes. It was as if he was saying, "Are you worthy enough to fight me?" Saishia is not a person who likes to stir up trouble, but that doesn't mean she is a soft persimmon that can be bullied by anyone. She walked out. "Ms. Qin, are you planning to be the first to file a complaint?" Qin Shiyu snorted coldly, "I won't talk to a lowly person like you, lest it lowers my status." Anyway, Zhao Zhao had deleted the surveillance video of the one in front of them yesterday. She insisted that it had nothing to do with Zhang Jingting. Saishia couldn't produce any evidence, and even if he had 100 mouths, he couldn't explain it clearly. Saishia naturally knew what she was thinking about, so he showed regret. "Since Miss Qin doesn't want to communicate with me, then there's nothing I can do. I just want to remind Miss Qin that I have a not-so-good habit. When I receive VIP customers, I will habitually turn on the recording function on my phone to avoid disputes in the future." Having said that, she slowly took out her cell phone. With a tap of the finger on the screen, a 20-minute recording actually appeared. When Qin Shiyu saw the recording, her face turned green. "Saishia, you dared to secretly record it." Before she finished her words, she rushed forward to grab the phone. Saishia dodged even faster. "Look at Miss Qin's reaction. You should remember clearly what you said when I came in yesterday, right?" Qin Shiyu's face turned pale. How could she not remember? At that time, she and John Jingting were in the fitting room. If this recording were to be exposed, not only would her relationship with John Jingting be ruined, but she would also lose face. Old Lady Jean is a very shrewd person. Seeing Qin Shiyu, who was hysterical just a second ago, become dull this second, he immediately became suspicious. What is the recording in your phone? Play it quickly and listen to it. Saixia looked at Qin Shiyu calmly. Ms. Qin, do you want to talk to the old lady yourself, or should I do it? Qin Shiyu glared at Saixia. Her vicious eyes were like knives, wishing she could dig a few holes in her body. Seeing that Saixia didn't say anything for a long time, Qin Shifeng was about to go up and grab Saixia's phone. Stop playing tricks here. You can scare Shiyu, but you can't scare me. I want to see what's in it. Qin Shiyu was so frightened when she saw this. She rushed over and hugged Qin Shifeng's arm. Dad, what happened yesterday was all my fault, don't try to grab the phone. Please. Her words stunned everyone present. Qin Shifeng froze in mid-air, looking down in disbelief. Shiyu, what did you say? Qin Shiyu covered her face in despair. I deliberately didn't go to the agreed time to get the certificate, and I also turned off my phone. Qin Shifeng couldn't believe his ears. What did you say? Say it again. Qin Shiyu burst into tears. I don't want to marry a cripple. Woo woo. When she heard the word cripple, Mrs. Jean became furious. You know, Jean Julian is the apple of their eye. From childhood to adulthood, I have held it in my hands for fear of it falling, and held it in my mouth for fear of it melting. Not only were the Qin family not secretly happy about the marriage, they even dared to despise her son for being crippled. Bang! Old Master Jean slammed the table and stood up. Qin Shifeng, I really thought my Yang was the one who abandoned me after having an affair with me. After all this time, it turns out that it is your precious daughter who despises my son. How dare you come here and complain first? How shameless! The Qin family and the Jean family are old friends. Although the Qin family's financial resources are far inferior to those of the Jean family is still very polite to them. This was the first time that Grandpa Jean pointed at his nose and scolded him so harshly. Qin Shifeng's face turned purple. He slapped Qin Shiyu in the face with his backhand. How could you do such a treasonous thing, you evil creature? It would have been fine if you had done it, but you actually dared to lie to us. The slap was so heavy that Qin Shiyu's ears started buzzing. She covered her face and cried in grievance. Seeing that Qin Shifeng was about to attack, Sai Leroux quickly stepped forward and grabbed him. Forget it, just teach her a lesson. Are you going to beat her to death? Qin Shifeng shook off his wife's arm and said, she is so unruly and willful, it's all because of you. Just indulge her, you will suffer the consequences in the future. It's shameful, really shameful. He cursed a few words and walked out angrily. Qin Shiyu cried and looked at John Jingting eagerly, hoping that he could say a few words for her. But he avoided her gaze and just kept his head down playing with his phone, not even looking at her. Qin Shiyu was so angry that she vomited blood. She stared at Saixia with resentful eyes. Just wait, we're not done yet. Okay. Sai Leroux dragged her daughter out. The farce finally ended with the Qin family fleeing in panic. Saixia breathed a sigh of relief and was about to put the phone back into her handbag when she turned around and met Jean Julian's deep, probing gaze. The man stared at her without saying a word, but the half-smile on the corner of his mouth made Saixia feel a little uncomfortable. This stinky ice cube. Seeing himself being besieged by the Qin family, he didn't say a word. How cold-blooded he is. If it weren't for her cleverness, she would have been kicked out of Pei City today, okay? Saixia had complaints in his heart, but he didn't show it on the surface. Just as he was about to ask Jean Julian if he could leave, he heard a suspicious voice behind him. Your name is Saixia. Saixia turned around and saw Mrs. Jean squinting her eyes, looking her up and down. Her heart trembled, and she nodded respectfully. It's me. When old Madame Jean first found out about Saixia's identity, she was very dissatisfied with her. But just now, if she hadn't come forward, the Qin family wouldn't have left in disgrace. This somewhat won her some favor. So, when she spoke again, the old lady's tone was obviously not so stiff. What did you record on your phone? When John Jingting heard this, his heart suddenly hung in the air. If the old lady knew that Qin Shiyu was unwilling to get the marriage certificate because she was fooling around with him, he would probably be kicked out of the house. It was at this time that Jean Julian suddenly laughed. I'm afraid there's nothing in her phone. Jean Jingting was stunned. Nothing? What does that mean? Old Madame Jean was stunned. Ian, what do you mean by that? Saishir didn't try to hide it anymore, he just took out his phone and clicked on the recordings. What was recorded in it was the content of her discussing clothing design ideas with Zhao Zhao yesterday. She was afraid that she might not remember some details, so she recorded them. Madam, secretly recording guests' conversations is not allowed. I did lie just now. 012, the clever little girl. You. Old Madame Jean was stunned for a moment, then she laughed out loud. You cunning little girl, you actually cheated. Saishir said calmly, Miss Jean was guilty, so she told me everything after I tricked her. Old Mrs. Jean nodded. Although Saishir's family background was not high, he was very smart and his reactions were very quick. And I just listened to the recording. You can also design clothes. Saishir nodded, I know a little bit. Jean Julian glanced at Lu Ran, and Lu Ran immediately added, when Madame graduated from high school, she applied for the fashion design major. Later, she also got the opportunity to study abroad at public expense, but it was delayed because of some personal matters. Hearing this, Mrs. Jean liked her even more. I also like Chinese dresses, Xia, can you design one for me next time when you are free? Saishir said politely, it's my honor. What Mrs. Jean said here clearly showed that she had already accepted her daughter-in-law 80%. Lu Ran finally breathed a sigh of relief. It looks like the old couple won't pursue the matter of Zhu Yi's sudden marriage any further. Old Madame Jean was also a decisive person, so she simply dragged Saishir to the room to discuss the design. Yang, I'll lend your wife to you for a while, you wait here. When Saishir heard the word wife, his ears suddenly felt hot. She looked at Jean Julian eagerly, hoping that he would refuse. But the man didn't even look at her, not giving her a chance to convey the message. Saishir could only bite the bullet and follow old lady Jean to the room. Master Zhu, the old lady seems to be very satisfied with the young lady. Lu Ran said happily. Oh. It's just a trifle. Lu Ran. Mr. Zhu, can you change your bad habit of saying one thing and doing another? If there were a mirror right now, I would definitely take a good look at you. Whose mouth corners are curled up to the sky. You look like you have the words, don't even consider who picked this woman, carved on your face. Lu Ran didn't expose him, but just reminded him, Master Zhu, do you want to wait in the next room? Right here. Lu Ran pursed his lips and smiled. Master Zhu is obviously worried that the young lady is coming to the old house for the first time, and he is afraid that she will be anxious if she can't find anyone when she comes out. Jean Julian was just about to tell Lu Ran to push the wheelchair to the side of the living room when his cell phone rang. Lu Ran glanced at the caller ID and his face froze for a moment. Jean Julian was very keenly aware of it. Who? Lu Ran hesitated for a moment, but still carefully handed the phone to him. It's Miss Gu's call. Jean Julian glanced at the three words, Gu Shuayan, jumping and flashing on the screen, and his eyes suddenly became extremely gloomy. No. Yes. Lu Ran responded and was about to hang up the phone when the ringing stopped. Then, another photo came in. He clicked on it and found that it was a photo of the front door of the Jean family's old house. Master Zhu, Miss Gu should be at the door. Jean Julian's eyes turned cold, and the air pressure around him froze in an instant. Give me the phone. This time, he called back directly. The phone rang 3 times before being connected. A gentle voice sounded, Ian, I knew you would call me. Jean Julian had no expression on his face and his tone was cold. What's the matter? Miss Xiaoche, can I? Impossible. Jean Julian refused without even waiting for her to finish her words. Gu Shuayan pursed her lips. Ian, Xiaoche is also my child, you can't deprive him of the right to see his mother. I saw your car outside, if you don't agree, I will wait at the door until you nod. Gu Shuayan beep, beep. Before Jean Julian could finish his words, the person on the other end of the phone had already hung up. His face looked extremely ugly, his large bony hands were clenched into fists, and the phone in his palm seemed to be deformed. Lu Ran could understand why Zhu Yi was so angry. As soon as the young master was born, this cruel woman abandoned the child and left. When he was 1 year old, the young master was diagnosed with mild autism. The doctor believes that lack of maternal love should be a major contributing factor. Now what? The child is 3 years old and has started to remember things. She came back and said she wanted to see the child. Ju Yi disagreed and even dared to stay at the door. Isn't this blatant coercion? Lu Ran hesitated for a moment. Master Ju, do you need me to handle it first? Zhang Juyen was silent for a moment. No need, I will go see her in person. Yes. On the other side, Sai Xia and old lady Zhang quickly decided on the style of the clothing. Xia, wait for me for a moment. I remember there seems to be a piece of fine suzhou brocade in my cloakroom. I'll bring it over and see if I can use it. Good. Old Mrs. Zhang turned around and went to the cloakroom with satisfaction. Sai Xia waited for a few minutes, but heard nothing, so he stood up and prepared to move around. Old Mrs. Zhang's room faces south and there is a lake under the window. There is a rockery at the door and very valuable ornamental fish are kept inside. Sai Xia was bored, so he picked up some fish food and prepared to feed the fish. A stone suddenly fell from the sky and hit the pool in front of her. Thump! There was a dull thud, and the fish were scared and ran around everywhere, and the splashing water also wet her skirt a little. Scare! Sai Xia was startled and fell down beside the pool. She looked up quickly and saw a small figure hiding halfway up the rockery, holding a pebble in his hand. Because it was dark, the little guy hid in the shadows and his appearance could not be seen clearly. However, in the darkness, those eyes seemed particularly bright and round, full of defense and resistance, and looked very fierce. A 3-year-old. Sai Xia's mind flashed with energy, and he suddenly remembered that Zhang Juyan said that he had a 3-year-old son who had been in the old house, being taken care of by his grandparents. Could it be this little guy? Sai Xia casually wiped the water droplets off her skirt and smiled gently at the little guy. These fish are very valuable. They can't be fed casually, right? I was careless. Sorry. Those angry eyes were obviously stunned for a moment, as if he did not expect that this beautiful woman could understand what he meant. For some reason, just by looking at each other, Sai Xia felt that he understood what the little guy meant. It seems that I guessed right. The little guy didn't say anything. Sai Xia thought that since she was marrying Zhang Juyan, even if she didn't have to please his son, she wouldn't have to go to the extent of a tit-for-tat confrontation. So, he smiled and said, the rockery is very high. It's very dangerous for you to climb up there alone. If you fall down and land in the water, you'll catch a cold and need injections and medicine. 013, stupid woman. The little guy seems to be very sensitive to the words, injections, and medicines. When he heard this, he seemed to have thought of something and fear appeared in his eyes. Sai Xia simply walked around to the foot of the rockery and stretched out his right hand towards the little guy. Auntie, can you help me down? The little guy hesitated for a long time. After meeting Sai Xia's friendly gaze, he actually slowly stretched out his right hand. What are you doing? Suddenly, a shocked and angry voice sounded. The little guy was frightened by the scolding, his feet slipped, and he fell into the water. Careful! Sai Xia exclaimed, and without caring about anything else, he jumped directly into the pool and held the little guy in his arms. Her calf hit the rockery and she felt a sharp pain. However, she had no time to care about it, but looked down at the little guy in her arms. With the help of the light, she could see the little guy's appearance clearly. With a chubby little round face, big eyes and a straight nose, he is exactly like a smaller version of Zhang Juyan. When he grows up, he will definitely be a disaster for others. Xiaobao, my darling, are you okay? Old Master Zhang hurried over, his heart in his throat. When she got closer, she found that Sai Xia was soaked, but Xiaobao was lying safely in her arms. She immediately breathed a sigh of relief. But when he thought of Sai Xia's reckless behavior just now, he got angry again. Don't you know that Xiaobao can't meet strangers? You'll scare him like this. Sai Xia was stunned for a moment, then looked down at the little guy who was hugging his neck tightly and even burying his head in his chest. This doesn't look like he's afraid of meeting strangers. Hurry up and let me hold Xiaobao, said Grandpa Zhang. Sai Xia did not dare to delay and moved to the edge of the pool with difficulty, ready to hand the child over. A strange scene appeared. The little guy actually hugged her neck tightly and refused to let go. Xiaobao, I'm your grandpa. Grandpa will hold you. Are you scared by this, auntie? Grandpa is here, don't be afraid. Grandpa Zhang was about to take the child away by force before he could react. Who knew that the child would suddenly burst into tears? Mr. Zhang was anxious. Just let go. You scared the child. It's you who scared the child. At this time, the voice of old lady Zhang rang out. Grandpa Jean was startled, and when he looked down, he realized that Sai Xia had already let go, and it was his grandson who was clinging to her neck tightly, refusing to let go. The wrinkled old face suddenly turned red. How is this possible? Old Mrs. Jean walked over and spoke carefully. Xiaobao, Aunt Xia Xia's clothes are wet. If you don't change clothes, you will catch a cold. Can you let go first? She wasn't sure whether the little guy could understand, so she could only coax impatiently. Who knew that the little guy actually looked up? When he found Sai Xia still standing in the water, he actually let go. Old Madame Jean quickly had someone pull Sai Xia out of the pool, then glared at the old man in anger. I saw everything just now. If it weren't for your yelling, Xia Xia would have already pulled Xiaobao down. You have a hoarse voice and a loud voice. If it weren't for you, would Xia Xia have fallen into the water? Mr. Jean blushed and scratched the back of his head. I didn't mean it. Xia Xia, you're wet, why don't you go change your clothes first? Sai Xia thought about the clothes in the car and was about to refuse, but suddenly he heard the sound of wheels colliding. Then, Jean Julien's cold voice sounded. Why did it take so long? Everyone turned around and saw Lu Ran pushing Jean Julien and appearing at the archway. Because it was dark, he didn't see Sai Xia's mess and said impatiently, let's go. Before Mrs. Jean could speak, Sai Xia said, Grandpa, Madam, I'm leaving first. After saying that, she hurried towards the door. Old Madame Jean glanced at the little treasure in the old man's arms. The little guy raised his head from time to time and looked timidly in the direction where Sai Xia left. It was the first time she saw Xiaobao being so close to a stranger. Could it be that this time, I really made a wrong move and it led to a happy marriage? The old lady rolled her eyes and immediately turned around happily and went into their house. Old lady, where are you going? I like Ian's wife very much. I will visit her in person tomorrow and send some gifts to my daughter-in-law. Hiss. I don't know what young girls like nowadays. I'll go look in the jewelry room. Sai Xia limped behind Jean Julien. I accidentally twisted my ankle just now, and now it hurts excruciatingly with every step I take. But that bastard Jean Julien didn't even turn his head, let alone wait for her. He didn't even ask a question. You know, she was injured while trying to save his beloved son. What a cold-blooded and heartless man. If she didn't want to make the old lady and the others worry too much, she would have taken a good rest for a while and then took a taxi back by herself. What she didn't know was that Jean Julien had just sent Ji Yushuian away and was in a terrible mood at the moment. It's a rare occasion that he still remembered to come back to see her. Sai Xia stepped on a cobblestone and her foot slipped. She fell to the ground in pain, sweating profusely. It hurts. She tried to get up, but when she exerted force, she felt excruciating pain. How can you be so stupid that you can't even walk? A cold voice came from above my head. Sai Xia looked up and met the man's questioning and suspicious gaze. The pain was accompanied by grievances, which made her a little irritable. She muttered in annoyance, I'm just so stupid. I can't wait for you to leave first. Jean Julien frowned and was about to explode. Lu Ran suddenly reminded, Master Ju, the young lady's ankle is swollen, it doesn't look like she just twisted it. Jean Julien reacted quickly. With a sharp glance, he found that Sai Xia's skirt was wet and there were some scratches on her calves. Thinking about the scene by the pool just now, he reacted immediately. This little girl jumped into the water to save Xiaobao and sprained her ankle. Sai Xia was in so much pain that he didn't plan to leave, so he just sat on the ground and lied. But after a while, I felt a darkness in front of my eyes. The next second, a strong arm passed through her legs and lifted her up sideways. Sai Xia subconsciously put his arms around the man's neck. It was not until she sat on a pair of strong thighs that she realized the person hugging her was Jean Julien. Oh my God! He himself is still sitting in a wheelchair. He actually lifted her up with just his arm strength. How strong would this man be if his legs were fine? Before Sai Xia could come to his senses, Lu Ran had already pushed the wheelchair towards the door. Well, actually, I can still walk by myself. Sai Xia felt that the scene of him sitting on Jean Julien and being pushed in a wheelchair was too weird and tried to protest. Who knew that Jean Julien would suppress her with just one sentence, you're taking too long. I don't want to waste my time. 014, you are good looking but you don't want people to look at you. With just one sentence, all of Sai Xia's last bit of embarrassment flew to Java. She simply let the man hold her in his arms with a clear conscience and walked out of the old house. Even got in the car all the way. The car started slowly and merged into the traffic. Just when it could no longer be seen, a tall figure slowly walked out from the darkness across the street. The woman was wearing the latest haute couture piece from Chanel. From the strands of hair to the tips of nails, every part of her reveals the exquisite and expensive style of a young lady. She stared in the direction the car was leaving, her eyes revealing a sinister coldness that was inconsistent with her attire. If she saw it correctly just now, Jean-Julien left with a woman in his arms. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. At this moment, the phone suddenly rang. The woman took out her cell phone and pressed the answer button. Before she could even open her mouth, the other party hurriedly asked, Shuiyan, have you seen anyone? Gu Shuiyan's cold eyes flashed with resentment. Ian didn't even let me enter the door of the old house, how could I possibly meet that little bastard? And, mommy, do you know what I just saw? What? Gu Shuiyan's fingertips tightened involuntarily. Ian left the old house holding a woman. Is it Qin Shiyu? No, Qin Shiyu and I were college classmates, so I wouldn't mistake her. The woman that Ian was holding looked familiar to me, but I couldn't see her clearly because we were a little far away. Shuiyan, now is not the time for you to worry about these things. Jean-Julien is the president of Dingphone, so it is normal for him to have some beautiful women around him. The most important thing for you now is to capture the heart of that child and let her recognize you as her mother, do you understand? But I can't even see my child, what can I do? When Gu Shuiyan thought of Jean-Julien's indifference towards her just now, her heart bled with hatred. The accident that year ruined the appearance that she was so proud of. In order to restore her appearance, she underwent more than 100 plastic surgeries of varying sizes in the past 3 years. Now, she had finally recovered to her original state. Who could have expected that Jean-Julien would actually hold a grudge against her? The woman groaned for a moment. Jean-Julien didn't let you see him, but Mr. Jean and Mrs. Jean didn't say they didn't let you see him. Don't forget, the child has always lived in the old house. Her mother's words instantly woke Gu Shuiyan up. Mommy, you make sense. I'll come over another day. The black Rolls-Royce Phantom had been on the road for less than a few dozen meters when Saishia struggled to stand up. Well, I'll just sit in the seat. But as soon as she moved, Jean-Julien held her down. Don't move. I didn't move, I just wanted to move to my seat. Before Saishia could finish her words, Jean-Julien suddenly grabbed her jaw and said, Mrs. Jean, your husband is just lame. The rest of his body functions are still normal. If you continue to move around like this, you will bear the consequences at your own risk. Saishia was shocked. Only then did I realize that the wheelchair was tilted for a distance when it was pushed into the car. This caused her to be very close to the man's upper body. At this moment, she was sitting in a sensitive position. Boom! His face flushed red instantly, and Saishia hurriedly tried to get up. Sorry, I didn't mean to. If you continue to move, I suspect you are doing it on purpose. There was a hint of depression in Jean-Julien's voice. This sentence made Saishia freeze as if his acupoints were pressed. Just don't move, so that this guy won't think you are taking advantage of him. Jean-Julien looked at the little woman in his arms. The small part of her ear sticking out from her black hair was incredibly red. His whole body was stretched straight and he looked very nervous. Jean-Julien frowned. Relax. Saishia was speechless. It's you who won't let me go and won't let me move, how can I relax? Before she could respond, she felt someone grabbing her left ankle. This guy, is he planning to? When she thought of this possibility, she immediately retracted her feet and asked defensively, what are you doing? Jean-Julien didn't even raise his head. If you don't relax, how can you apply the medicine? So, you're applying medicine. Saishia blushed again. Jean-Julien suddenly raised his eyes to look at her, smiling. Otherwise, what do you think I'm going to do? The man's gaze was so deep and sharp, as if it could penetrate everything and see into other people's hearts. Saishia panicked and turned away quickly. Thank you, thank you. Jean-Julien glanced at her again. This time, not only did the little woman's ears turn red, but her cheeks were also lightly flushed. That shy look makes people's hearts move slightly. He lowered his head and applied medicine to her carefully. The man's hands were big and warm, and he wrapped them around her wounds and rubbed them gently. The force was clever, not only relieving her pain, but also without causing any discomfort. 10 minutes later, he stopped and said, move. Saishir tried to twist his ankle gently, and was immediately surprised. Hey, it doesn't hurt anymore. Master Ju, you are so good, have you learned this before? Jean Julian looked at the admiration flashing in the woman's eyes, and his irritable mood inexplicably eased a little, so he borrowed her words. Just now, I know a little bit. Lu Ran, who was driving in the front, couldn't help but add, Master Ju, you are too modest. Back then, you were the leader in the special forces. Not only were you very skilled, but you were also very good at rescue. Having said that, Lu Ran suddenly felt that the atmosphere was a little off. Only then did he realize that he had said the wrong thing. Ju Yi is sitting in a wheelchair now, why is he still talking about his past in the special forces? Thinking of this, he wanted to slap himself twice. The carriage fell into an eerie silence for a moment. Until. Since your feet don't hurt anymore, why are you still relying on me? Jean Julian suddenly spoke coldly. Saishia suddenly woke up and quickly climbed onto the chair next to him and sat down. After sitting firmly, she secretly glanced at Jean Julian out of the corner of her eye. The man sat there expressionlessly, as if Lu Ran's words had no effect on him. It turns out that he used to be a special forces soldier. No wonder he can pick himself up while sitting in a wheelchair. However, the former special forces leader is now confined to a wheelchair and needs help even for his food, clothing, housing and transportation. Thinking of this, Saishia suddenly felt a little sorry for him, and forgave this man for standing idly by today. She just stared at him like that, oblivious to the people around her, until Jean Julian turned around and asked, What are you looking at? Saishia was startled and quickly looked away. He whispered, She's pretty, but I can't take a second look at her. Jean Julian. Lu Ran, 6. 015, Saishia, you are letting yourself fall. Lu Ran followed the address Saishia gave her and sent her to the gate of the community. Originally, he wanted to send her downstairs, but the entrance to this old community was very narrow and the spacious Rolls-Royce could not fit in at all. I'll get off here, Saishia said, and pulled the car door. Jean Julian rolled down the car window a little. This kind of old community has no proper property management and the walls are very dilapidated. You live here? Saishia didn't hear the disdain in his words and nodded. Yeah, my dad has a small courtyard on the outskirts of the city. The daily commute is too far, so I rented a house here. It's close to my workplace and the hospital, so it's quite convenient. Seeing that Jean Julian didn't say anything else, she got out of the car. It was already past 8 o'clock in the evening and the sky had become completely dark. Several street lights in the community were broken. Saishia walked into the apartment building using the light from his cell phone. Suddenly, a drunk rushed out. Saishia was startled and quickly dodged. When the drunkard saw Saishia wearing a small dress, his eyes flashed with surprise and he reached out to put his hand on her shoulder. Fortunately, he was stopped by his companions. Sorry, he drank too much. Saishia's face didn't look good, but he didn't argue and turned around and hurried in. The Rolls-Royce was still parked at the door at this time. Jean Julian saw clearly what had just happened through the car window. Lu Ran turned back with a cold face. Master Ju, how dare that drunkard harass the young lady? Do you want me to teach him a lesson? Jean Julian remained calm and said, Speed up and turn around. Turn around. We can just go out and drive straight ahead. I told you to turn around, so just turn around. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Yes. Lu Ran couldn't help but complain in his heart, Master Ju, that's your wife. She was molested by a drunkard, and you didn't say a word. You are too unmanly. Although he said this, he didn't dare show it on the surface, so he could only speed up and turn around. Crash. When the car accelerated and turned around, it happened to hit the barrier of the roadside stinky ditch. The huge pressure instantly splashed the dirty water mixed with gutter oil and silt. It just so happened that the drunkard just walked to the door and was drenched all over his head. He screamed and sobered up immediately. Fuck it, it's not a big deal to be rich, it's not a big deal to drive a luxury car, stop right there. Through the rearview mirror, Lu Ran clearly saw the drunkard stumbling after him for a few steps, then falling flat on his face. It was only at this time that he reacted. I couldn't help but silently give Ju Yi a thumbs up in my heart. When it comes to disgusting people, our Ju Yi is quite capable. The car slowly drove out of the alley and turned onto the main road. Jean Julian's eyes were gloomy, as if he was thinking about something. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. The phone suddenly rang. Lu Ran handed the phone over from the front. Master Ju, it's the old lady calling. Zhang Juyan picked up the phone. Ian, what kind of jewelry does Xia like? Tell me some. If you don't have it at home, I'll go to the auction house and look around. Zhang Juyan frowned. How should I know? You are Xia's husband, how could you not know? I don't know. Zhang Juyan said, and was about to hang up the phone, but suddenly he seemed to have thought of something and changed his words. If you want to know, just ask yourself. Just ask it yourself. I'll go find her tomorrow. Ask Lu Ran to send me the address. After saying that, Mrs. Zhang hung up the phone. Zhang Juyan threw the phone aside, and his originally frowned brows unconsciously relaxed a little. Then, start closing your eyes and resting. After a tiring day, Sai Xia went home and prepared to take a shower and change his wet clothes. However, when she walked into the bathroom and just unzipped her back, she suddenly felt something was wrong. It seemed like someone was watching her from behind. Sai Xia turned around subconsciously and saw Lin Jinghao standing at the bathroom door, his eyes fixed on her shoulder. "R!" Sai Xia screamed and pulled up the shoulder strap reflexively. "Lin Jinghao, why are you here?" Lin Jinghao's eyes seemed to be filled with anger. "I know the password to your house." Damn it. So many things happened in the past few days that she was so busy that she even forgot to change the combination lock. "Lin Jinghao, we have broken up. You broke in without my permission. I can call the police, you know. Get out right now." Sai Xia pressed his chest, his face looking extremely ugly. Instead of rolling away, Lin Jinghao moved closer. "Sai Xia, just because I don't marry you, you start to indulge yourself, right? What the hell are you talking about? If you don't get out of here, I'm calling the police." How much Sai Xia loved him in the past, how much he hates him now. She is different from this scumbag. She is married now, and even being alone with a man and a woman in the same room would make her feel uncomfortable. Having said that, Sai Xia walked around him and went to get his phone. Who knew that Lin Jinghao would grab her arm and say, Xia, I saw everything just now." "What do you see?" "I saw you get off a Rolls-Royce Phantom with my own eyes. And look at what you were wearing. It was a limited edition dress from H. It cost at least hundreds of thousands. You were never such a vain person before. Why did you degenerate like this?" Sai Xia finally understood what he said. She sneered and shook off his arm. "Lin Jinghao, who are you to me? We have broken up. What qualifications do you have to dictate my life?" Sai Xia. Lin Jinghao knew it very well. The type that rich people like most is Sai Xia's. He softened his voice. Xia, I know you're still angry about the marriage certificate issue. But there's really no need to ruin yourself just to get revenge on me." "Ruining yourself?" Sai Xia couldn't help but get angry. "I'm driving a luxury car and wearing famous brands now, and I'm very happy. Being with you and saving money for you is the real way to ruin myself. Xia, those men who can afford luxury cars worth tens of millions of dollars will never be interested in you. At most, they are just playing with you. If you are played with by them, don't blame me for not reminding you. At least she has invested her time and money, unlike you, who not only eats for free, but also abandons her after having sex with her." "Sai Xia, how did you become like this? You were never like this before." "Before?" Sai Xia sneered. "You used to say that I was your destined benefactor and would treat me well for the rest of my life. So, you are the only one allowed to change, but I am not. You?" Lin Jinghao and Sai Xia have been together for many years. In his impression, she was always gentle, generous and sensible. This is the first time I've seen something so sharp and sarcastic. 016, Veteran Drama. Lin Jinghao choked on his breath and his face turned green. Sai Xia was too lazy to waste words with him, so he picked up his phone and dialed 110, "Hello, is this 110? However, before he could finish his words, Lin Jinghao snatched the phone away and hung up. "Are you really coming with me? I just called 110. I live alone and have registered my address with the police. If the police can't get through by phone and come to my house, I want to see who will be embarrassed." Looking at Sai Xia's determined face, Lin Jinghao finally gave in. "Sai Xia, just humiliate yourself. One day you will regret it." After saying that, he threw down his phone and left. Bang! The door of the room was slammed shut, and Sai Xia let out the breath he had been holding. then fell onto the sofa with weak legs. For some reason, when she was confronting Lin Jinghao just now, she found that he was not sad at all. Instead, he felt more disgusted, and she wished he would disappear at any minute. Maybe this is what it means to truly let go. After making some adjustments, Sai Xie immediately changed the password to the room, then went to take a shower and rest. There was no shift scheduled for the next day, so Sai Xie stayed in bed for a while. Maybe because she was too tired these days, she took a nap and slept until 11 o'clock in the morning. Finally, I was woken up by a knock on the door. Sai Xie got up dazedly and took a look outside through the peephole. Scare. This sight frightened Sai Xie so much that he lost all his sleepiness. Sky. Why is old lady Jean outside the door? Sai Xie ran into the room in a panic. Wait a minute, old lady, I'll change my clothes and come right over. After hearing Sai Xie's flustered voice, Mrs. Jean quickly comforted him. Xie, don't worry. I'm also an experienced person. I understand that you need to sleep a little longer as you're newlyweds. Don't worry, take your time. Sai Xie, who was frantically putting on his clothes, felt awkward when he heard these meaningful words. It seemed that old lady Jean had misunderstood something. She changed her clothes as quickly as possible, smoothed her hair twice, and then opened the door. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Old Madame Jean led Mrs. Zhang and smiled as they poked their heads inside. Is our Yang here? Sai Xie blushed. No. That's right. Our Yang should have gone to the company by now. Really, he didn't even know to take a few days off to spend more time with his wife after getting married. The old lady said this and walked in. When she drove to the community just now, the simple environment outside made her frown. If her wife didn't live here, she would never have set foot in such a community in her life. But now, after entering Sai Xie's room, her expression was obviously much more relaxed. Although Sai Xie's two-bedroom, one-living-room apartment was not large, she had decorated it with great care, making it clean, tidy, bright and elegant. There is a faint floral scent in the air, which makes people feel very comfortable as soon as they come in. After Mrs. Jean sat down, she waved to Sai Xie. Xie, come here. As soon as Sai Xie sat down, she handed him a box. Take a look at this, do you like it? Sai Xie opened the box and found a sapphire necklace. The sapphire sparkled brightly, and even someone like her who knew nothing about gemstones knew it must be very expensive. Madam, this thing is too valuable. Sai Xie was about to refuse, but was interrupted by old lady Jean. Xie, don't be so hasty to refuse. In fact, I came to you this time because I have another favor to ask of you. Please? Are you saying that seriously? Old lady, if you have anything to say, just tell me directly. Yesterday I found that Xiaobao was inexplicably close to you, and Ian liked you so much. Can you think of a way to persuade Ian and ease the relationship between them? Sai Xie was somewhat confused by these words. Not to mention, she didn't know how the old lady knew that Zhang Juyan liked her. Zhang Juyan and Xiaobao are biological father and son. She is a stranger and can count the number of times she has met them on her 5 fingers. Isn't it a bit too unbelievable to ask her to do this? Old lady, I really want to help, but... Before Sai Xie finished speaking, he saw Mrs. Jean sobbing twice, and her eyes turned red. She wiped away the non-existent tears from the corners of her eyes. Xie, the doctor said that Xiaobao might have autism because of the lack of love from both his parents. My health has been getting worse in the past 2 years, and I don't know if I can live to see the day when they can be reconciled. Woo-woo. Mrs. Zhang standing by was very upset. My old lady, how can you curse yourself like this? When you pointed at the old man's nose and cursed at him, you didn't even take a breath. Who can be as healthy as you? Only the young lady is so naive that she would be fooled by you. Sai Xie hated to see an old man with white hair crying in front of her. The old lady cried, her heart was broken. Old lady, don't be sad, you will live a long life. What's the point of living 100 years? If I can't see our Yang and his son getting along, then I've lived in vain. Sai Xie finally couldn't hold back the old lady's tears and gave in. Old lady, don't be sad. I promise I will do my best. Old Mrs. Jean was delighted. When are you going to move in with a Yang? Sai Xie was stunned. What? Xie, cars are not allowed in your neighborhood, and this house is small. You can't let a Yang and Xiaobao live in your house, right? Sai Xie blinked. That's right. So you agree to move? I'll arrange for the moving company to come over right away. Just pack some of your personal belongings. Our Yang has prepared everything else. Just like that, Saishir was fooled into moving house without knowing what was going on. It was not until Mrs. Jean got into the car and left contentedly that Saishir, clutching the sapphire necklace and standing at the gate of the community, realized what was happening. What just happened? How come the old lady's annual rent for the house was returned after she came here? Live in Jean Julien's villa? Does Jean Julien know about this? No, this matter cannot be treated so hastily. Saishir took out his cell phone and was about to call the old lady when it suddenly rang. It was an unfamiliar landline number. Hello. As soon as Saishir answered the call, he heard a young woman's voice from the other end. Excuse me, are you Jean Che's parent? Jean Che? Saishir hadn't reacted yet. Who are you? I'm a teacher at Wisdom Bilingual Kindergarten. When I contacted Jean Che's grandmother just now, she gave me your phone number. Are you Jean Che's parent? Saishir was completely annoyed. This old lady was really a man of action. It's only been a short while, isn't it a bit too clean? 017, do your parents know that you are a stepmother? Thinking that I had already agreed to Mrs. Jean's request today, if I went back on my word so quickly, the old lady would inevitably be sad again. Saishir could only bite the bullet and said, yes, what can I do for you? The child was not in a stable mood in kindergarten today and frequently attacked other children. We may need to ask you to take the child home in advance to let him rest. Teacher Fang said this very tactfully. Wisdom Bilingual International Kindergarten is the best kindergarten in Peicheng, and the tuition fee for 1 year alone is nearly 1 million. Those who can enter here are either rich or noble. The teacher also knew about Jean Che's situation, but he didn't dare to say it too directly. Saishir hesitated for a moment, but finally agreed, okay, I'll be right there. 20 minutes later, Saishir appeared at the entrance of the kindergarten and explained his purpose to the guard. Mrs. Jean, please wait a moment. I'll make a phone call and the head teacher will send the person out when the time comes. Okay. Saishir stood patiently in the guard room and glanced casually towards the kindergarten. In an inconspicuous corner not far from the gate, 3 or 4 children were surrounding a little boy and pointing at him. The child standing in the middle lowered his head, looking pitiful, and it was obvious that he was being bullied. Is there school bullying at such a young age? Saishir frowned and muttered something, and suddenly found that the child surrounded in the middle looked so familiar. She quickly opened the door and took a closer look. It turned out to be the little guy from last night. Xiaobao. Saishir let out a low cry and ran over. 3 little boys were pressing Jean Che to the ground, and another fat boy forcibly snatched a painting from his hand. After taking a look at the painting, he pointed at Jean Che's nose and cursed, Jean Che, you liar. Jean Che struggled desperately, trying to get the painting back. But he was unable to move at all with 3 children on his body. He could only stare at the little fat boy with red eyes and gritted teeth. However, the little fat boy was not afraid at all. Why are you staring at me? Did I say something wrong? Teacher Fang asked us to draw our own family. You are obviously a little bastard without a mommy, and you still drew a family of 3. You are liar, shameless, and a big liar. The little fat man said, squatting in front of Jean Che, do you really want this painting? Jean Che was stunned for a moment, with anticipation in his eyes. The little fat boy suddenly laughed and said, I won't give it to you. I'm going to tear it off because you bit me so hard last time. As he said this, he tore the painting into 2 pieces. Jean Che's pupils trembled, and he didn't know where he got the strength from, but he suddenly climbed up. He actually knocked over the 3 people who were on top of him at once. He looked at the torn painting, his face turned red with anger, and he rushed directly towards the fat boy. Ouch! The fat boy was knocked over by him and fell over, eating a big mouthful of mud. No matter how fierce he is just a 4-year-old child. Seeing Jean Che's aggressive look, she was so scared that she burst into tears. Woo, mommy, mommy. Hearing the crying, a fat middle-aged woman suddenly rushed out from the office. When she saw her son fall to the ground, she lost her soul immediately. She rushed over and picked up her son. My darling, what happened to you? How did you fall? Mommy, take a look, where does it hurt? Seeing that he had an adult to back him up, Fat Zhao immediately pointed at Jean Che and started to complain, Mommy, it was him. He just pushed me down, woo, it hurts. Mrs. Zhao turned around, and when she saw Jean Che, she immediately flew into a rage, You're here again, you bastard. Last time you bit Xiaopang, I didn't bother you, but today you dared to push him. You're really a little bastard who was born by a father but not raised by a mother. Let me show you how I'm going to deal with you. As she said that, she stood up and raised her hand to slap Zhang Che in the face. Stop. Saishia rushed over quickly, trying to stop him. But Mrs. Zhao's slap was fast and hard, and she had no intention of stopping. Saishia could only rush over and hold Zhang Che in his arms. Bang! The slap could not be taken back and landed heavily on her arm. In an instant, several bright red fingerprints were left behind. A burning pain came over him, but Saishia just frowned and immediately looked down at the little guy in his arms. After confirming that he was not injured, he breathed a sigh of relief. I'm glad you're okay. Zhang Che blinked and looked at Saishia, who had a gentle and concerned expression. It's that gentle and beautiful aunt from yesterday. Her embrace is so fragrant and soft. The little guy pursed his lips, didn't dodge, and let Saishia hold him. Mrs. Zhao didn't expect someone to rush out at this time. She took a look at Saishia's swollen arm and immediately said, I want to teach this little bastard a lesson. You came here on your own. It's none of my business. When he heard the words, little bastard, Saishia suddenly felt a surge of nameless anger in his chest. When she was a child, her mother left without saying goodbye, leaving her a single parent. Some foul-mouthed people would even call her a bastard behind her back. Therefore, she could empathize with Zhang Che's current situation. And she also gave birth to a child. If that child hadn't died young, he should be about the same age as Zhang Che. A strong feeling of pity and love welled up in my heart. Saishia slowly stood up, his cold eyes piercing towards Mrs. Zhao like sharp swords. Madam, I see that you are dressed like someone of status, but you keep calling a child less than 4 years old a bastard, and even want to hit him. Do you have any manners at all? Mrs. Zhao was stunned for a moment, then she became angry. Are you blind or deaf? Didn't you hear my son say that it was this little bastard who started it? Besides, what does it have to do with you if I teach this little bastard a lesson? You are not his mother, so what qualifications do you have to meddle in other people's business? Get out of here. Saishia sneered and clenched Zhang Che's hand. I will take care of this matter today. At this time, Teacher Fang seemed to have heard the noise here and hurried over. As soon as he saw Saishia holding Zhang Che's hand, he immediately asked tentatively, Are you Mrs. Zhang? Saishia let out a deep breath and nodded. Mrs. Zhang. Doesn't he, the little bastard, have no mother? Where did this Mrs. Zhang come from? Mrs. Zhao looked Saishia up and down with sharp eyes. The woman had her hair tied in a ponytail and looked very young and beautiful. At first glance, you can tell she is a stepmother who relied on her youth and body to get to the top. Girl, I see you are not that old. Have you graduated from college? Do your parents know that you are so young and want to climb up the social ladder like others and become a stepmother to the children of rich families? I saw that you were so selfless just now. I am afraid that you are not so attentive to your biological parents who gave birth to you and raised you. 018, if you don't make money, you are bastard. Saishia sneered. When I saw your son teaming up with other kids to bully Xiaoche, I was a little curious about how a 4-year-old could be so vicious. Now that I see you, I finally understand. After all, if the top beam is not straight, the bottom beam will be crooked. Mrs. Zhao was immediately furious. Who are you scolding, little bitch? It seems that Mrs. Zhao is self-aware and knows how to take the right seat. You. Seeing that the two sides were on the verge of a fight, Teacher Fang could only bite the bullet and step out to be a peacemaker. Mrs. Zhang, Mrs. Zhao, both of you should calm down. Shut up. Mrs. Zhao couldn't win over Saishia, so she could only vent her anger on Teacher Fang. You kindergarten is really a bunch of bastards who don't want to make money. You dare to accept Zhang Che even though he's mentally ill. What should we normal children do? He bit someone before, and now he pushes someone. If he gets crazy in the future, will he kill someone? I'm telling you, if they don't apologize and compensate today, this matter will never end. In order to calm things down, Teacher Fang could only look at Saishia tentatively. Mrs. Zhang, maybe you don't know much about the previous situation. Although Xiaoche has only been in the kindergarten for a month, he has already had conflicts with several children. Last time, he even bit Zhao Xiaopang. Mrs. Zhao wanted to investigate, but it was Zhang Che's grandmother who called to apologize, saying that he had transferred schools 7 or 8 times and would have nowhere to go if he left the kindergarten, so Mrs. Zhao Saishir frowned when he heard this. Teacher Fang, what do you mean? How about we just take a step back this time, apologize to Mrs. Zhao, and let the matter rest peacefully? HMPH. Mrs. Zhao snorted coldly when she heard this. With his arms crossed over his chest, he stared at Saishir with contempt. Listen, is this what we call human speech? You know, even if a sparrow flies to a branch, it can't turn into a phoenix. Saishir sneered and said expressionlessly, what does Mrs. Zhao want? When Zhang Che heard this, he thought Saishir was going to give in, and he immediately got angry. He was about to rush out, but was stopped by Saishir. He raised his head in anger, and met Saishir's gentle and soothing eyes, which clearly said, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Under normal circumstances, if he was irritated to this extent, even if John Julian came out, he might not be able to control his emotions. But now, Saishir only gave Zhang Che a look that made him inexplicably quiet down. He pursed his lips and didn't move anymore. But his small body trembled from time to time because of anger. Mrs. Zhao thought Saishir was scared, so she said, since we've come to this point, let's settle all our accounts together. Zhang Che bit my son before, and this time he pushed him down. You two need to apologize first, and then pay 500,000 yuan for mental damages, and this matter will be over. Saishir smiled calmly. 500,000 is no problem. Mrs. Zhao's eyes lit up. She had just said it casually, but she didn't expect Saishir to agree to it out of the blue. But, this stepmother dresses so poorly, can she afford 500,000? Since you said there's no problem, then why are you still standing there? Mrs. Zhao urged. Saishir ignored her and turned to look at Teacher Fang. Teacher Fang, do you remember the last time Xiao Che bit someone? Teacher Fang was stunned for a moment, then nodded immediately. It was 3 days ago. There should be surveillance cameras in the kindergarten, right? Please pull up the surveillance footage of the incident that day, as well as the surveillance footage at the entrance of the guard room just now. Mrs. Zhao knew her son's character. When she heard that the surveillance camera was going to be adjusted, her face changed immediately. Mrs. Zhang, I asked you to apologize, and you adjusted the surveillance camera. What do you mean? Are you trying to divert attention? If you don't have money, don't boast. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at for dawdling here? Saishir smiled gently, looking harmless. Mrs. Zhao, you are wrong. 500,000 is not a lot, but it is not too little either. If I transfer it to you, I have to have a reason, right? If we show the surveillance footage, it will be clear who is at fault. Those who should apologize, and those who should pay. No one will be wronged. Or, Mrs. Zhao, you know your son well, and you feel guilty. Mrs. Zhao's face turned green when her thoughts were suddenly exposed. What a joke! Why should I feel guilty? The bite marks on my son's arm haven't disappeared yet. In that case, I'll trouble Teacher Fang to make the trip. Teacher Fang only wants to solve the problem as quickly as possible, so he is very decisive in doing things. 15 minutes later, everyone appeared in the office. Teacher Fang retrieved the surveillance footage from 3 days ago. The footage showed that when the incident happened, Zhang Che was sitting alone in a corner quietly playing with a Rubik's Cube. He has very fast hands and can solve any confusing Rubik's Cube quickly. After a while, Fat Fang came over with a few other kids and reached out to grab the Rubik's Cube, but Zhang Che dodged it. He failed to grab the toy, so he picked up the building blocks in his hand and smashed them on Zhang Che's head. Zhang Che reacted quickly and dodged it. Fang Xiaopang used a lot of strength, but this time he missed and fell directly onto the table. He was so angry that he jumped up and pointed at Zhang Che and cursed him. Zhang Che suddenly became furious, got up and pushed him down. Fatty Fang and several other kids pinned him down, and Zhang Che couldn't struggle free, so he opened his mouth and bit one of them on the arm. This. Teacher Fang did not expect that it was Zhao Xiaopang who started the fight first. Mrs. Zhao rolled her eyes and said immediately, my child just wanted to play with him. It was his fault that he opened his mouth and bit people. Besides, Zhang Che was not injured at all. My little fat boy was injured, okay? This surveillance video doesn't prove anything. Saishir looked at Zhang Che, who was pinned down by the crowd, and felt an inexplicable dull pain in his heart. She let out a deep breath. Teacher Fang, please turn on the surveillance video. In the surveillance video, Xiao Che's emotions have been very stable. It seems that he suddenly got angry because of what Fatty Fang said. I have to find out what happened. Okay. Teacher Fang pulled the screen back and turned on the loudspeaker. After Zhao Xiaopang climbed up from the table, he pointed at Zhang Che angrily and cursed, "Little bastard, how dare you hide away?" The 3 words, "little bastard," made Sai Xie extremely angry. She turned her head and glared at Fang Xiaopang. The little fat boy was frightened by her eyes and hid behind his mother guiltily. Sai Xie suppressed his anger and said, "Teacher Fang, please show today's surveillance video." Teacher Fang knew that Sai Xie was very angry at the moment, so he didn't dare to neglect it and immediately played the surveillance video. Without exception, the scene from 3 days ago was repeated. Fatty Fang and a few other kids tried to bully Zhang Che but failed, and were pushed to the ground. 019, I ask you to apologize. Those calls of "little bastard" were like a knife, cutting into Sai Xie's heart. She couldn't help but pull Zhang Che into her arms and hug him. "Because I can't speak, I can't defend myself even if I'm bullied. Even, you may be wrongly accused." He is less than 4 years old. When he thought of this, Sai Xie couldn't help but feel the rage in his chest. "Mrs. Zhao, do you have anything else to say now? Children's words are innocent. Is it worth taking a child's words seriously? Besides, it's my child who got hurt in the end. At most, I don't want the 500,000 yuan compensation." Mrs. Zhao felt a little guilty, so she made up a few words and was about to leave with her child. But who knew that before she even reached the door, she was stopped by Sai Xie. "Mrs. Zhao, it's your business if you don't want compensation. But now that the truth has come out, we can't just let it go. I'm an adult and I can't do anything, but you must apologize to my child and promise that this kind of thing will never happen again." Mrs. Zhao thought she had heard it wrong. She rolled her eyes and walked away from Sai Xie, seeming to have no intention of paying any attention to her. Sai Xie chased after her and stopped her again. "I make you apologize." Mrs. Zhao was about to get angry, but when she looked up and met Sai Xie's murderous eyes, her heart skipped a beat for some reason. This woman looks gentle, but why is it that she is a little scary when she gets angry? Seeing that the teachers around them were also frequently looking over here, Mrs. Zhao felt a little embarrassed, so she grabbed the child and said, "It's so annoying. Fatty Zhao, quickly apologize, or they will stop us from leaving." Fat Zhao immediately started yelling in displeasure, "I don't want it. Why should I apologize? Did we say it wrong? He didn't have a mother to begin with. I heard several other kids' parents say he was a bastard, a child no one wanted. He even drew a picture of a family of 3 to trick the teacher. Why should I apologize for such a liar? I did nothing wrong. Next time he dares to lie, I'll beat him up." Mrs. Zhao was secretly pleased when she saw Sai Xie's face turn pale with anger. She is a parent, so it's not easy for her to say these things directly. But it's different with children. Children are innocent and they say whatever they want. "TSK, Mrs. Zhang, did you hear that? This matter can't be blamed on my child alone, right? The other parents in the kindergarten are talking about it. If you are unhappy, then go find those parents. What's the point of holding onto a child?" Sai Xie looked at her coldly. "Mrs. Zhao, you're not going to apologize anymore, right? My son doesn't want to apologize. What can I do? How about you send him to the police station?" Mrs. Zhao sneered and started to act like a rogue. Sai Xie snorted coldly and squatted down. A pair of hands grasped Zhang Che's shoulders and said word by word, "Xiao Che, if anyone dares to scold you or bully you in the future, don't be afraid, just fight back." Mrs. Zhao's face changed. "How do you teach your children?" Sai Xie ignored her and said in a more serious tone, "If a group of people bully you and you can't beat them, just hit them with something. Just beat them to death. If you bleed, lose teeth, or break legs, I'll take care of it for you." When Zhao Xiaopang heard words like bleeding, losing teeth, and broken legs, he was so scared that he started crying. Mrs. Zhao's face darkened. She hugged the child in her arms and pointed at Sai Xie and cursed, You, what's the difference between you and a bandit? If someone dies, can you take the responsibility?" Sai Xie sneered, stood up, turned around and confronted her with contempt. "If someone dies, what can I do? Otherwise, you can send him to the police station." Mrs. Zhao didn't expect that this little bitch would use her words to confront her. You teach the child like this, aren't you afraid that something will happen to him, and his father will cause trouble for you?" Sai Xie glanced at Zhang Che, pressed his head into his arms, and took the opportunity to cover his ears. "You also said that I'm a stepmother. There are not many stepmothers in this world who really treat their children well, right? If he gets into trouble, I'll just give birth to another biological child. So you'd better provoke him more in the future, and it'd be best if he gets killed, so that I can reap the benefits. Madman, you crazy woman. Mrs. Zhao cursed a few words, picked up her son and ran away with a look of horror on her face. Because he was so flustered, he tripped over the threshold. The son in his arms hit the ground first, 2 of his front teeth were knocked out and blood was gushing out. Woo! Mrs. Zhao was both distressed and frightened. She picked up her son and ran out covered in dust, looking as if there was a ghost chasing her. At this time, Saixia let go of his hand, picked up Zhang Che, and coaxed him softly, Xiaobao, it's okay, don't be afraid. Zhang Che turned his head and looked at the Zhao mother and son who were fleeing in panic. Then, he quietly buried his head in Saixia's arms. Teacher Fang had seen Saixia's methods before, so she was a little scared when facing her now. Mrs. Zhang, I'm so sorry, I didn't expect there were so many misunderstandings in this matter. Before Teacher Fang could finish her words, Saixia interrupted with a cold voice, Teacher Fang, I hope the kindergarten can show these 2 surveillance videos and clear my child's name. He just doesn't fit in and doesn't like to talk, but that doesn't mean you can throw all the dirty water on him. Teacher Fang sweated profusely on his forehead. Of course, I will report this to the headmaster and arrange it immediately. Also, I hope Teacher Fang can tell other parents that from now on, I am the child's mother. If anyone continues to gossip about my child behind my back and calls him a bastard, I will call the police and will not tolerate it. I believe that those who are able to enter wisdom bilingual are people with status and background, and they should not want to be involved in scandals, right? After saying this, Saixia picked up Zhang Che and turned to leave. In the taxi, Saixia took out a wet wipe from her handbag and gently wiped the dust off Zhang Che's face and body. The little guy is so cute, and when he is quiet, he is harmless to humans and animals. How could anyone bear to bully him? Saixia pulled his hand distressedly, and when he was about to wipe the dust off, he discovered a red mark. She rolled up her sleeves curiously. I was shocked to find that there were 2 teeth marks, several scratches and a bruise on his arm. Xiaobao, you have so many wounds on your body. Was it caused by that little fat guy? Why didn't you tell me? Saixia's heart suddenly tightened and he felt a terrible pain. This is too much. Let's go back to the kindergarten right away. I must seek justice for you today. She had always thought that it was Zhao Xiaopang who was injured, so she was still very reserved. Now, he found that Zhang Che was even more seriously injured, and his hands began to shake with anger. She was about to ask the driver to turn around when suddenly a little baby girl jumped into her arms. 020, I want to see my child. Saixia was stunned for a moment, then lowered her head and found that the little girl was hugging her arm. Xiaobao, you don't want me to go back. Zhang Che was silent for a moment, then nodded. Every time he got into trouble at kindergarten, Daddy got even meaner to him. He is afraid of his daddy. When his daddy is angry, he looks scary. But your injury? The little girl pursed her lips, stretched her arm to Saixia's mouth, and looked at her. Although he didn't say anything, Saixia inexplicably felt that he could understand what he wanted to say. So, he lowered his head and blew gently on the wound a few times. A relaxed expression immediately appeared on the little boy's face, then he put down his sleeves and shook his head at her. You mean, if your aunt blows on you, it won't hurt? The little milk ball nodded. Saixia felt so distressed when he saw him like this. He is so well behaved and sensible, why do those people in the kindergarten treat him like a monster? Although he didn't know why the little guy didn't want him to go back, Saixia didn't want to upset him, so he had to give up. It's okay if you don't go back, but you have to promise Auntie one thing. The little kid tilted his head, his eyes full of confusion. If someone bullies you in the future, or if you get hurt, you must tell your auntie right away, okay? Saixia said, and stretched out his little finger without letting anyone refuse. Hook. The little kid blinked twice and timidly stretched out his hand. We'll make a promise and stick to it for 100 years. What Saixia didn't know was that just as she and Zhang Che's taxi left, a luxury car slowly drove out from the corner. Saixia's voice came from the recording device in the car. There aren't many stepmothers in this world who would really treat their children well, right? If something happens to him, I'll just give birth to another biological child. So you'd better provoke him more in the future, and make him die, so that I can reap the benefits. Click. At this point in the conversation, someone suddenly pressed the pause button. Mrs. Zhang frowned and said worriedly, Madam, how could this young lady say such a thing? I just saw her arguing with that Madame Zhao, and I thought she really felt sorry for the young master and wanted to protect her. I didn't expect that she would say the truth so quickly. It seems that you still have to be careful and guard against her. Sai Xia didn't know that this time it was old lady Zhang who deliberately wanted to test her. So before leaving, he secretly placed a bug on her. Because the monitoring device has a distance limit, it will not receive the signal when it leaves the range of 2 kilometers. In the car, Mrs. Zhang looked serious, as if she was thinking about something. Do you think that was her true words? Judging from the context, Sai Xia might have said this on purpose to provoke Mrs. Zhao. The young master was also there at the time. Whether she accidentally spoke the truth or deliberately said something sarcastic to provoke the other party, the harm caused to the young master is inevitable. I think you should reduce her contact with the young master. Old lady Zhang thought about it, then nodded. What you said makes sense, I understand. Mrs. Zhang's eyebrows relaxed. Old lady, let's go back to the old house first. After the young lady picks up the person, she should be sent to the old house. Mrs. Zhang turned to the driver and said, let's take Xingfu Road today. It's faster. Okay, Mrs. Zhang. However, just as the car turned onto Xingfu Road, a figure suddenly rushed out from the roadside. Squeak! The driver was startled and slammed on the brakes. Old lady, be careful. Mrs. Zhang quickly supported old lady Zhang. After making sure that she was not injured, she scolded the driver, what's wrong with you? The driver looked terrified. Old lady, a woman suddenly rushed out from the side of the road just now. Sorry. Woman. Could it be a scammer? Mrs. Zhang said angrily, what are you still standing there for? Why don't you go down and take a look? You dare to scam me without even checking whose car it is. The driver nodded. I'll take care of it right away. But just as the driver opened the car door, Mrs. Zhang suddenly said, wait. Mrs. Zhang was stunned. Madam, what's wrong? Help me down and take a look. Old Mrs. Zhang felt vaguely that the young woman squatting at the front of the car looked a little familiar. Just let the driver handle this kind of thing. Don't scare you. I said open the door, I want to go down. Seeing that the old lady's tone became more serious, Mrs. Zhang did not stop her. She quickly opened the car door and helped her get out. When old lady Zhang walked around to the front of the car, she saw a beautiful young woman with great temperament squatting on the ground, her long hair covering most of her face. She asked suspiciously, Shuiyang. The woman looked up and found that it was old lady Zhang. Her eyes immediately turned red. Old lady, is this really your car? I thought I was seeing things. Is it really you? Mrs. Zhang was surprised at first, but then her face fell as if she had thought of something. You still remember to come back. When Ji Shuiyan stood up, her eyes were already filled with tears. Old lady, I have my reasons. You abandoned your child for 3 years without caring about him while you lived a carefree life abroad. Is this what you are suffering from? Old Mrs. Zhang snorted coldly and turned to get in the car. Ji Shuiyan ran over and knelt down with a plop. Old lady, I'm sick. I thought I couldn't survive, so I left without saying goodbye. But who would have thought that after 3 years of treatment, I would actually recover? That's why I mustered up the courage to come back. In the past 3 years, I have missed my child all the time. Please, just let me see him from a distance, and I will be satisfied. Old Mrs. Zhang turned her head. Ji Shuiyan was almost hit by a car just now. There was a lot of dust on her body and her knees were scraped. Moreover, she looked so pitiful kneeling on the side of the road, crying like a pear blossom in the rain. You are sick. Ji Shuiyan was afraid that she would not believe it, so she quickly took out a medical certificate and said, I did not lie. Old lady, please take a look. I really had no choice back then. The old lady didn't wear reading glasses, so she asked Mrs. Zhang to help take a look. After reading it, Mrs. Zhang nodded at her. Old Mrs. Zhang didn't say anything and got into the car with a complicated expression. Turning back, he looked at Ji Shuiyan who was still kneeling on the ground and said coldly, since you have just recovered from a serious illness, why are you still kneeling on the ground? Ji Shuiyan was delighted and stood up with the help of Mrs. Zhang. Grandma? Have you forgiven me? Old Madame Zhang did not give in. This is the grudge between you and a Yang. What's the big deal if I forgive you or not? After she finished speaking, she looked at Mrs. Zhang and said, "Mrs. Zhang, get in the car and go back." "Yes." Before getting into the car, Mrs. Zhang glanced at Ji Shuiyan one more time. That glance actually had a soothing meaning. 021, Sowing Discord. The luxury car gradually drove away from Ji Shuiyan's sight. The aggrieved and sad expression on her face gradually faded away and turned cold. The look in the direction where old lady Jean left became sinister and resentful. He reached out his hand and coldly wiped away the hypocritical tears from the corners of his eyes. "You old woman, I've already knelt down, why are you still acting so arrogant? Sooner or later, I'll make you pay for your actions today." As she spoke, she took out her cell phone and transferred some money. Then, after making a phone call, a luxury nanny car drove up to her. A woman who looked like an assistant quickly opened the car door and walked down. "Sister Yang Yang." Ji Shuiyan got into the car and glanced at her knees with disgust. Assistant Fei Fei immediately knelt down, took out a wet towel, and carefully wiped the dust off her knees. "Sister Yang Yang, where are we going now? It's all mommy's bad idea to make me stop a car and kneel down, which made my new clothes dirty." Ji Shuiyan glanced at Fei Fei and said, "Let's go to Xiaoxian's house, do a full body treatment first, then go pick out a new set of clothes, and just throw away the dirty ones." "You're going to throw away such expensive clothes after wearing them once? If you like it, I'll give it to you. Anyway, I never wear my clothes twice." Fei Fei immediately smiled happily. "Thank you, Sister Yang Yang." Ji Shuiyan glanced at her with contempt. "From now on, your nickname should just be Trash Can, and you should specialize in picking up trash." Fei Fei didn't think it was an insult, and said with a smile, "What Sister Yang Yang sees as trash is a treasure that others can only ask for. I'm so envious of others for being able to pick up your trash." Ji Shuiyan was flattered and forgot about the unhappiness just now. "Remember to keep a close eye on Mrs. Zhang. I spent a lot of money to get her to work. Do you understand? I'll do their work, don't worry, Sister Yang Yang." Having said that, Ji Shuiyan closed her eyes with satisfaction. On the other side, not long after Mrs. Zhang's car started, Mrs. Zhang's cell phone vibrated. She took out her cell phone and glanced at it. Her hands shook and the phone almost flew out. Was she seeing things? "It seems like my phone just received 100,000 yuan. What's wrong?" Old Mrs. Zhang frowned. "I'm talking to you." Mrs. Zhang's heart trembled, and she quickly put the phone back into her trouser pocket. "Old lady, go ahead. What do you think?" Ji Shuiyan came back at this time and said she wanted to see Xiaobao. "What does that mean?" "Madam, I just looked at Miss Gu's medical records. Her condition was indeed very serious before, but she has fully recovered now. I think she may really miss the young master. After all, mother and child are connected by heart, and blood is thicker than water." "Mother and child are connected by heart, and blood is thicker than water? What were you doing before? Even if you wanted to get treatment, you could have called, right? You ignored the child for 3 years, and now you come and cry a few times, and you want to take the child back. You're dreaming. Old lady, I know you have a kind heart and you said these things out of anger. I'm telling the truth. If you really didn't want to give her a chance, you wouldn't have asked Miss Gu to stop kneeling just now, right?" Being touched on the heart, old lady Jean frowned. "So what? It's too late to say anything now, our Yang is already married. Besides, Xiaobao seems to be quite close to Saixia. But, no matter how close she is still a stepmother. How can she be compared with a biological mother who is related by blood? What's more, what the young lady said just now really makes us doubt her intentions." Old Madame Jean looked at her unhappily. "That's the woman chosen by our Yang, it's not your turn to make decisions." Mrs. Zhang felt a chill in her heart. Oops. The 100,000 yuan made her a little anxious. The old lady loves the third master the most. When she questions Saixia, isn't she actually questioning the third master? "Old lady, I'm talking too much." Mrs. Zhang slapped herself twice, preparing to use a roundabout policy. "Actually, what I mean is that Miss Gu meets the young master, cares for him, and gives him motherly love. This does not conflict with the third master getting married and getting a marriage certificate." Old Mrs. Zhang didn't say anything, obviously she had heard it. Mrs. Zhang continued to strike while the iron was hot. "Besides, you also heard what happened in the kindergarten today. Didn't those people bully the young master because his biological mother wasn't around? Maybe when Miss Gu comes back, the young master's autism will heal on its own, and he might even be able to speak. The last sentence was too attractive to the old lady. If she could really get a healthy and normal grandson back, she could sacrifice anyone, let alone Saishia. Although she was moved, Mrs. Jean did not show it too much. She just said lightly, "I'll think about it again." Mrs. Jean opened her mouth, but ultimately stopped talking. If we push her too hastily, it will inevitably make old lady Jean suspicious, and that would be more trouble than it's worth. Dingfeng Group Twin Towers, President S. Office. Master Ju. Lu Ran pushed the door open and walked in, placing a document to be processed next to Jean Julien's desk. "Yeah." Jean Julien nodded. As he picked up the document, his peripheral vision caught sight of his watch. "Wait." Lu Ran stopped and turned around. "Master Ju. Today is Friday. Shouldn't you be going to the kindergarten to pick up Jean Che at this time? Why are you still here?" Picking up the children in person every Friday is a strict rule that Grandpa Jean made for Jean Julien. However, Jean Julien never carried out the banquet, and left it all to Lu Ran. Lu Ran had always felt that Master Ju was indifferent to the young master, so he did not make any special report today. But she didn't expect him to ask about it, so she said truthfully, "The old lady arranged for the young lady to pick up the child today, so I don't have to go." When he heard Saishia's name, the man's mind suddenly flashed back to the scene of her changing clothes in the car. His Adam's apple rolled uncontrollably. Let her answer it. She only met Jean Che yesterday, so she might not even remember what the child looks like. "Go to the kindergarten right away." Lu Ran's eyes lit up. "Master Ju, are you concerned about the young master or the young mistress? Stop talking so much nonsense. How about transferring you to the customer service department?" Jean Julien said coldly. No need, I'll do it right away." Half an hour later, Jean Julien received a call from Lu Ran. Did she really say that? Jean Julien frowned and put down the document in his hand, with a hint of doubt in his tone. On the other end of the phone, Lu Ran's voice was firm. "Well, the young lady not only said that if the young master is bullied in the future, she will fight back, but also said." "What else did you say?" "She also said that if you get bloody, your teeth are broken, or your legs are broken, don't be afraid, she will take care of it." When Lu Ran said this, he himself was a little bit unbelievable. Is this something the gentle and shy young lady would say? 022, a panic accident. New. After Jean Julien hung up the phone, he continued to process documents with an expressionless face. It was not until much later that he sneered, "What a cunning scheme." When Saishir sent Jean Che back to the old house, it was Mrs. Zhang who came out to pick him up. Jean Che fell asleep in the taxi. Mrs. Zhang took him away smoothly and turned to leave. "Mrs. Zhang." Saishir spoke quickly. Mrs. Zhang turned her head and asked coldly, "Young madam, is there anything else?" "Oh, last time the old lady wanted me to make her a Chinese dress, but because I left in a hurry, I didn't have time to bring the Suzhou brocade back." Before Saishir could finish his words, Mrs. Zhang interrupted him. "That piece of Suzhou brocade is very precious. The old lady wants to keep it for other uses. Please don't bother the young lady with this matter." After saying that, she turned and left. Saishir frowned. She didn't know if it was her illusion, but why did she feel that Mrs. Zhang's attitude towards her had changed since that morning? However, Saishir didn't think much about it and turned away. After getting in the taxi, the driver asked her destination as usual. Wang Yuan Community. Saishir subconsciously reported her previous residential complex, but just as she finished speaking, she suddenly remembered that she had moved this morning, and hurriedly changed her words, Fei Li Mingzhu Central Villa District. Hearing the words, Fei Li Mingzhu, the driver couldn't help but take another look at her through the rearview mirror. After seeing her simple and plain outfit, he smiled and said, "Little girl, you haven't graduated from college yet, right? Did you work as a tutor for rich people in the past?" This is the second person today who said that she is a college student who has not graduated. Is it because this outfit is not mature enough or too cheap? She didn't explain, but just smiled, as a sign of her agreement. Fei Li Pearl Community is one of the most expensive villa areas in Peicheng, and the security work is also very strict. Taxis are usually not allowed to enter when they arrive at the door. Saishir had no choice but to get off the car at the gate and walk in. The weather in late summer is like a woman's face, changing at any time. When we first got off the bus, it was extremely hot and stuffy. We were halfway there when it suddenly started to rain. Saishir covered his head with a canvas bag and ran quickly. The rain is getting heavier. When she ran to the door of the villa, her whole body was wet. When they moved in the morning, Mrs. Jean had already told her the password of the villa. Therefore, Saishir entered smoothly. As soon as you open the door, what comes into view is the luxurious and simple European style, with the main tone being dull and depressing black and grey. Everywhere I looked, even the water cups were pure black. Saishir couldn't help but complain, it really matches Jean Julien's style too. She shuddered after a loud sneeze. No, I have to find a way to take a shower and change my clothes first, otherwise I will definitely catch a cold. Saishir walked around the first floor but didn't see a bathroom. He went up to the second floor trembling, pushed open a bedroom door at random, and found that it had its own bathroom. Without thinking too much, he went in quickly. After taking a hot bath, I felt much better. Saishir dried herself and was about to change clothes, but then she remembered that it was too cold just now. She came in a hurry without even preparing a change of clothes. All the clothes I took off were soaked and I couldn't wear them at all. Saishir looked around and found a cleanly folded white men's shirt in the cabinet next to the door. It should be Jean Julien's. I'll just wear it and go find some clothes. It shouldn't be a problem. Saishir put on a white shirt. The somewhat tough fabric rubbed against her skin, with a faint scent of bamboo leaves. It was like the man's rough fingertips. Especially when there was nothing underneath the white shirt, Saishir felt more and more uncomfortable. After finally changing his clothes, Saishir carefully poked half of his head out of the bedroom holding his wet clothes. He pricked up his ears and listened for a while. After making sure that no one had returned, he ran to one of the guest rooms on the second floor. In the morning, Mrs. Zhang had told us to put her luggage in the room at the end of the corridor on the second floor. Saishir pushed the door open and found that apart from some personal belongings, she didn't bring any clothes with her. Could it be that old lady Jean thought the clothes were too cheap, so she just disposed of them? Sky. Saishir was completely speechless. All the clothes have to be bought again, which is another huge amount of money. She searched again uncertainly, and after making sure that she had not brought any of her clothes with her, she gave up completely. She could only carry her wet clothes to the living balcony at the entrance. Generally speaking, everyone has a dryer at home, right? She came to the balcony, and when she saw the low-key luxurious dryer, she almost cried for joy. She quickly stuffed her clothes in. Maybe because I was too impatient, the close-fitting black small b. When stuffing clothes in, they accidentally slipped into the gap between the dryer and the wall. TSK. Saishir frowned and bent down to pick it up. But the gap is too deep, b. It seemed like it was caught by something. She had no choice but to kneel on the ground and reach her hand into the gap. After her disdainful efforts, her fingers finally touched b. She breathed a sigh of relief and was about to get up. Suddenly, she felt something was wrong. It felt like something was staring at her back, and the feeling of oppression and discomfort made her scalp tingle. She subconsciously turned her head to look. Scare. A scream got stuck in his throat. Saishir was so frightened that he froze in place, forgetting to react. That guy Jean Julien was actually standing behind her. Although the man was sitting in a wheelchair, Saishir was kneeling, so her entire body was almost completely covered by his figure. He stared at her with a blank expression and dark eyes. There are waves of turmoil that cannot be hidden in his eyes. Master Ju, do you need me to push you in? Lu Rant's voice suddenly came from the door. Saishir's hands and feet felt cold, and he got up in panic. His weak hands kept pulling at the hem of his shirt. He seemed to feel that something was wrong and tried to cover his chest, feeling so embarrassed and helpless. Seeing Lu Rant's footsteps approaching, Jean Julien turned around and slammed the door shut. Bang! With a dull thud, the door almost hit Lu Rant's nose. It was this muffled sound that made Saishir tremble, and he wished he could find a crack in the ground to crawl into. Her mind went blank, and her tightly clenched lips trembled uncontrollably. Why are you here? Jean Julien's Adam's apple rolled involuntarily. This is my home, is there anything wrong with me being here? He didn't want to look, but the little woman in front of him was too tempting. The white shirt wrapped around her exquisite body, and her pair of white legs were long and straight. At this moment, she looked flustered and shy, like a little deer, making people want to hold her down and ravage her mercilessly. 023, you have an obligation to me. When I thought about how she was lying on the ground just now, the loose shirt wrapped tightly around her hips. Although everything is blocked, it is more tempting than seeing everything. Jean Julien's throat tightened. He pulled his tie awkwardly, but you showed up at my house without even saying hello, and even wore my clothes and lay there. Saishia got anxious. She rushed over and covered his mouth. Don't say it. After seeing the scene just now, she wished she could just run into a wall and die here. Jean Julien repeating it again was equivalent to pulling her dead body out and whipping it a second time. Saishia's ears turned red as he defended himself. Why did I show up here without saying hello? You can go ask the old lady. But you, a normal man, when faced with such a scene, would avoid it first, which is gentlemanly behavior. Instead, you stood in the back without saying a word. Who knows what you were going to do? Jean Julien's eyes swept over the dryer, and there was a black bee hanging next to it. His eyes darkened instantly. Saishia seemed to have noticed his gaze, and his face instantly turned red. You are not allowed to look. After exclaiming, she hurriedly put the little bee. Stuff it in. Then, he covered his chest and turned around hurriedly to go upstairs. She couldn't stay here any longer. If she continued, she would be too embarrassed to face anyone. All her lifelong wisdom and bravery were ruined in these few minutes. She doesn't want to live anymore. However, when the two people passed each other, Jean Julien suddenly grabbed her arm. Saishia's body became unstable, and he fell on top of him with a low cry. The man's body was inexplicably hot, making her feel at a loss as to what to do. Mrs. Jean, have I ever reminded you? Your husband's legs are only broken, but his other functions are still normal. You were like that just now. What do I think I want to do? Jean Julien's voice was hoarse, and it seemed that he was trying hard to endure something. Saishia's face was about to burn. Just now, it was raining heavily and I got soaked, so I borrowed your shirt to wear. Don't think the wrong way. After giving a vague explanation, she hurriedly stood up. But how could Jean Julien let her go? The hand that gripped her arm gained some strength. Hiss! Saishia frowned and cried out in pain. Jean Julien's eyes turned cold. He pulled her hand over and turned up her sleeves. There were still a few faint fingerprints left on the back of the little woman's fair hand. He suddenly remembered what Lu Ran had just said on the phone. Mrs. Zhao was about to hit the young master, but was stopped by the young mistress. He lowered his eyes. More than 2 hours have passed, but the wound on his arm is still there, and there are even some blue spots, which shows how heavy the slap was. If it falls on Xiao Che's face, there is no way he can avoid having his eardrum perforated. A cold light flashed in the man's eyes for a moment, but he did not say it clearly. Instead, he directly pressed the button and made the wheelchair move. You, let go and let me go. Saishia still wanted to struggle. But the man grabbed her waist and said, if you don't want me to kill you right here, you'd better not move. With one sentence, he pinched Saishia's pulse firmly and ruthlessly. She immediately dared not move, and even dared not breathe. Jean Julien took out a tube of ointment from the medicine box and began to apply it to her. Be gentle, it hurts. Saishia frowned. You know it hurts, but you're still so stupid. You get hurt all the time. Jean Julien scolded, but his hands were obviously much lighter. Saishia was speechless. If it wasn't for protecting your son, would I have been hurt? Although she was complaining in her heart, she still didn't say out loud what happened in the kindergarten. Since Xiaobao's problem had been solved, there was no need to say anything more to him, lest he think she was showing off. Jean Julien was applying the medicine and suddenly asked, did the old lady come to see you? Saishia nodded, but didn't tell the old lady her purpose. Did she ask you to move here? Saishia nodded again. Jean Julien didn't look up. I don't have the habit of sleeping with others. Saishia's eyes lit up. That's great. The man paused and looked at her with a frown. Saishia blinked and explained quickly, I don't mean to dislike you, it's just that I often have to work overtime at home until midnight, and I don't want to disturb your rest, so it's good to sleep in separate rooms. Seeing Saishia's eyes sparkling with joy, Jean Julien felt inexplicably unhappy. He sneered, deliberately trying to annoy her. Saishia. Don't forget, you are my wife and you have obligations to me. I know you have difficulty walking, so of course I have the obligation to take care of you. I won't refuse. The woman kept talking non-stop, and Jean Julien felt annoyed, so he simply sealed her mouth with his lips. Saishia's eyes instantly widened, his mind went blank, and he even forgot to react. The kiss that was originally meant to shut her up gave John Julian an inexplicable sense of familiarity, making him want more. He has always been a self-indulgent person. I thought so in my heart, so I did it. As the woman struggled, he grabbed the back of her neck and deepened the kiss. Saishia couldn't struggle and could only be forced to endure. It was unknown how long it was before the man let her go a little. Saishia breathed heavily. She wanted to escape almost reflexively, but her hands and feet were weak and she couldn't stand up at all. She could only stare at him with her eyes wide open, like a frightened deer. Now do you understand what obligation I'm talking about? Jean Julien stared at her. Saishia's face instantly became hot. Can you give me a little more time? Jean Julien suddenly remembered the day when Saishia's eyes were slightly red at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Could it be that she is still thinking about that cheating ex-boyfriend? When I thought of this, the heat in my body seemed to be poured over my head like a basin of cold water. He simply pushed her away. Saishia was pushed by him without any preparation and staggered before he could stand firm. She was totally baffling. Is this man poisonous? He was kissing and hugging her 1 second, and pushed her away with a cold face the next. What did he think of her? She does have a good temper, but that doesn't mean she has no temper. Thinking of this, she groaned and went straight upstairs. Jean Julien frowned, not knowing which call button he pressed. Luran, come in. There was a beeping sound of unlocking the code at the door. Soon, Luran walked in. Master Ju. Prepare the car and go out. Master Ju, don't you have any social engagements tonight? To the mall. Is there a word you don't understand? I will prepare the car immediately. Luran quickly pushed Jean Julien away. While driving to the mall, Luran was puzzled. All of Ju Yi's clothes are tailor-made. This is his first time to go shopping in a mall. 024, buy her underwear. 20 minutes later, Jean Julien appeared on the third floor of a luxury brand shopping mall in the city center. This floor mostly sells adult clothing. Mr. Ju, aren't your clothes usually custom-made? Why do you suddenly want to go shopping today? Do you want to look at shirts or suit jackets? Luran asked respectfully while pushing the wheelchair. Jean Julien glanced around solemnly, then pointed with his finger, go there. Luran looked up and found that it was a women's clothing store. Master Ju, are you going to a women's clothing store? No. Of course. Luran was stunned. Could it be that because the young lady moved in, Master Ju came personally to pick clothes for her? In the next 20 minutes, Jean Julien visited 3 women's clothing stores in total. Each one has a different style. There are those who are young professionals, those who live a leisurely life, and those who are gentle women. Every time he went to a store, he would just take a quick look, clear out a few items that didn't look good, and pack up the rest. After this round of shopping, the delivery notes in Luran's hand were almost piling up. Clothes, shoes, hats, accessories and bags are all available. After visiting the third store, Luran reminded, Master Ju, there are so many clothes. Young madam changes a set every day and never wears the same clothes twice in a year. Do you want to continue buying? Jean Julien was silent for a moment. Go back. Yes. Luran pushed him towards the elevator. When they were about to reach the elevator, Jean Julien suddenly said, wait. Master Ju, is there anything missing? After Luran asked, he did not immediately wait for Jean Julien's response. He looked down and found Jean Julien staring at a store. After staring for a while, he suddenly said, you go. Following his line of sight, Luran's pupils trembled, and he quickly reminded, Master Ju, that's a women's lingerie store. Jean Julien had a blank expression on his face. So, you go. Luran was speechless. He is an adult man, and if he runs into a women's lingerie store, the clerk will think he is a pervert and beat him up, right? Luran tried to struggle. Master Ju, can you? Unfortunately, before he could finish his words, he was interrupted. No. Luran had no choice but to move the car inside with great embarrassment. Jean Julien waited outside patiently and quietly. Who knew that in less than a minute, Luran ran out with a red face. Jean Julien saw that he had nothing in his hands and couldn't help but frowned. Where's the stuff? Luran scratched his head. The clerk asked me what size I wanted to buy. I don't know the young lady's size. A cold glare shot over him, and Luran was instantly speechless. lowering his head in embarrassment. Jean Julien pursed his lips and was silent for a while. Push me in. Okay. Lu Ran agreed hurriedly. As long as Ju Yi goes in with him, the clerk will not misunderstand him as a pervert. When Jean Julien appeared in the lingerie store, the dazzling array of bras dazzled his eyes. He could only look straight ahead, without looking to the side. The clerk saw Lu Ran coming in and hurried over. Walking through the clothes rack, I suddenly saw Jean Julien sitting in a wheelchair. The man was very handsome, but his eyes and eyebrows were cold and he looked like someone who was not easy to mess with. The clerk said nervously, "Sir, do you know the size?" Jean Julien frowned. "I don't know. He hasn't touched it, so how does he know the size?" The clerk said in embarrassment, "This kind of close-fitting clothing must be bought in the right size to be comfortable. Otherwise, sir, why don't you call and ask?" Jean Julien said coldly, "What else do you need to do?" Seeing the clerk's face frozen, Lu Ran quickly explained, "Our boss wants to give the madam a surprise." The clerk nodded in understanding. "Is that so? I'll think of a way." As she said that, she turned and went into the warehouse, and soon came out holding 3 display models. "Sir, which one's body shape is most similar to your wife's?" Jean Julien immediately recalled the scene of Saishia changing clothes in the car that day. After a few seconds, he pointed to the model in the middle and said, "This one. I already know the bust size, now I just need to determine the cup size." The clerk grunted as he moved the model away, then took out a few soft, transparent things that looked like water bags and put them in Jean Julien's hands. The 2 men had never seen this thing before and looked surprised. Lu Ran frowned. "What is this?" The clerk smiled and said, "This is a silicone fake breast. Each touch represents a cup size. Please try it, sir." Jean Julien. He had never touched Saishia, so how could he know what she felt like? "The soft thing lying in my hand now feels like a hot potato. Besides, it's so disgusting no matter how you look at it for a grown man to use this to try it out." Jean Julien only felt a heat rushing to her head, and she directly threw the silicone fake breasts to Lu Ran. Lu Ran was shocked and quickly returned it to the clerk. Jean Julien turned her head and scanned the store with a sharp gaze, finally pointing at one of the black bras. "This is the size." The clerk was stunned. "Are you sure?" Jean Julien has a sharp eye and a good memory. He had seen Saishia's bra that night. Although it was just a brief glance, he already had a rough idea in his mind. The size he chose should be about the same. At this moment, facing the clerk's suspicious questioning, he just glanced at her lightly and said nothing. But, just that one glance was enough to make the clerk's heart tremble. I see. Which ones do you want to buy?" Jean Julien glanced around the store and accidentally discovered that there were a few sets of chingtsu pajamas hidden in the corner. There is a big red sign hanging next to it, "Free gift for orders over a certain amount." If Saishia wore them. A wave of heat suddenly rushed up from the top of my head. Jean Julien coughed twice unnaturally and randomly ordered a few overly flashy colors. "Except for these, pack up a set of each of the others. Wrap them all up." The clerk's eyes lit up instantly. He thought he had met a big customer. "Okay, no problem." Jean Julien glanced at Lu Ran. Lu Ran immediately understood and went forward to pay the bill. After doing all this, he pushed Jean Julien outside. "Master Ju, if the young lady knew that you were so kind to her, she would be so touched." Jean Julien pursed his lips and said lightly, "You talk too much nonsense." Lu Ran has followed him for almost 10 years. Even without looking at his expression, he can judge his mood just by the tone of his voice. He was almost certain that Master Ju really cared about the young lady. It was not until the 2 of them disappeared in the elevator that 2 slender figures appeared around the corner. It was Qin Shiyu and her best friend Xiao Qiao. Xiao Qiao didn't know that Qin Shiyu and Jean Julien's engagement had been cancelled. "Shiyu, isn't that your fiancé?" 025, you will be fined and grounded. I never thought that a cold-blooded man like Ju Yi would prepare such a surprise for you. How thoughtful. If it weren't for his lame leg, you would definitely be the happiest woman in the world if you married him based on his looks and wealth. Xiao Qiao's family conditions are worse than Qin Shiyu's, and he is usually Qin Shiyu's little follower. As long as you can make this little princess happy, you can get a lot of benefits. But this time, she didn't know that her flattery had hit the horser's leg. Underwear is such a private thing, but Master Ju has prepared it for you. Could it be that you two have already Shut up, have you said enough? Qin Shiyu shouted angrily, scaring Xiao Qiao. Shiyu, why are you angry? Did I say that wrong? Qin Shiyu clenched her fists. My engagement with him has been cancelled. What? Your engagement is cancelled, so who is Ju Yi buying underwear for? Qin Shiyu's face looked extremely ugly. Who are you buying it for? It must be for that little bitch Saishia. I really didn't expect that when I was holding my own shoes, I acted so reserved and dignified. It's only been a few days since I got my marriage certificate with Zhang Juyan, and I've even arranged for Qingtu lingerie. Last time, not long after she left the Zhang family's old house after being slapped by her father, Zhang Jingting called her. Tell her that Saishia didn't have the recording at all and was just deceiving her at the time. At that time, if her mother hadn't stopped her, she would have turned back and slapped that little bitch hard a few times. All the new and old grudges came to Qin Shiyu's mind in an instant, and her eyes turned red with anger. Xiao Qiao had always known that Qin Shiyu disliked Zhang Juyan because he was a cripple, but because he was generous and had a good family background, she had been delaying the breakup. At this moment, maybe Zhang Juyan had been hung for too long, so he went to find another woman. Shiyu, it's better not to have such a heartless man. Aren't you with Jingting? He is also a descendant of the Zhang family and has a bright future. After hearing what Xiao Qiao said, Qin Shiyu's mood improved a little. Let's go buy a bag. Haven't you always liked that limited edition bucket bag from LV? I'll give it to you. Whenever she is in a bad mood, she likes to go shopping crazily. Anyway, it's not her own money that she is spending, so she doesn't feel bad about it. When Xiao Qiao heard this, his eyes lit up immediately. Thank you, Shiyu. The two of them went directly to the LV store, tried on items for a long time, and selected items worth more than 2 million yuan. Following my usual practice, I cut off the tag and put it on directly, intending to wear it out. Qin Shiyu took out a black gold credit card and said, "Pay the bill." Xiao Qiao carried the bucket bag and kept looking at herself in the mirror. Shiyu, I really like this bag. Thank you. Qin Shiyu waved her hand nonchalantly. Why are you being polite? It's just cheap stuff. At this moment, the salesperson came over with the black gold card and a strange expression. Miss Qin, I'm sorry, your card has been suspended. Do you want to change it? What did you say? Qin Shiyu was stunned. How is this possible? This card was given to her by Lu Ran after she and Zhang Juyan were verbally engaged. The black gold card has unlimited spending and doesn't even have a password, so it's impossible for it to be suspended due to non-payment. This is a black gold card with no limit. Did you make a mistake? How is it possible that even 2 million cannot be swiped? You must have made a mistake. Because Qin Shiyu was a VIP customer, the salesperson was very careful to confirm before coming to communicate. Ms. Qin, we have tried many times just now and are sure that it cannot be swiped. Qin Shiyu stared and simply called the credit card's customer service number. As soon as the call was connected, she started to scold him. What's wrong with you? My card is a black gold card. What qualifications do you have to suspend my card? Do you believe that I will file a complaint against you and make your bank go bankrupt? I'm sorry, Miss Qin, this credit card of yours is a supplementary card. The owner of the main card, Mr. Zhang, has already stopped the credit limit of the supplementary card. If you have any questions, you can communicate with Mr. Zhang first. As long as he makes a phone call, it can be activated immediately. Qin Shiyu was stunned. It turned out that Zhang Juyan suspended the secondary card. Xiao Qiao was afraid that she would have to return the bag she had already gotten, so she secretly cut off the tag and then approached. Shiyu, what's going on? Qin Shiyu hung up the phone and her face turned green when she saw the 2 million bill handed over by the salesperson. After struggling for a long time, she finally squeezed out a sentence from between her teeth. I just thought about it, and I don't think I like these things that much. Otherwise, forget about it today and come back another day. The salesperson was anxious. Ms. Qin, but the tags on your clothes and bags have been removed. Xiao Qiao also hurriedly said, Shiyu, you can't return or exchange it if you remove the tag. You also know that my dad only gives me 100,000 pocket money every month, and I have spent it all a long time ago. Otherwise, I can pay for this bill. It's not that Qin Shiyu can't come up with 2 million. Normally, my family gives me 500,000 yuan in pocket money every month, and if that's not enough, my mom will secretly give me some. Only.